Hello. Good morning. Hope you all doing well. Right, we got gold here. Daily is kind of indecisive. We're like a doji. Still like a doji here on the daily time frame. Yeah, I think it's had something to do with like Trump yesterday. He seemed like not as motivated, or let's say he wasn't gonna use force, right? So he mentioned that he's not gonna use force to take over Greenland, and I think that was the main thing a lot of people were worried about. Even if you listen to the tone, his tone when he was saying that he was not gonna use force, he was kind of saying it in a way like, come on guys, I'm just joking, but he did say he was still gonna be acquiring Greenland, I guess one way or the other, right? So as you can see right now, price is plus 0.05. So yeah, there's just like not that much direction. But the daily time frame previously was bullish. They got previous daily candlestick bullish. This one is still attempting to go upwards because he is still planning on acquiring Greenland, right? So that's still in the works. That's still a catalyst for Goldie. But let's read up some fundamentals. Let's see. All right, so gold pairs losses. Gold hovered around 48.30 pounds on Thursday, erasing earlier losses to remain close to record high. As investors continue to assess geopolitical risks, Donald Trump retreated from a proposed tariff threat against Europe. Oh yeah, and he removed the threat, the tariff. That's true. People lost money on poly markets, I guess. He removed the tariffs, so not gonna get tariffs February 1st anymore, right? I think it got removed from poly markets as well. As soon as he said that, I'm pretty sure it was over. But that kind of sucks, because what if he changes his mind, right? What happens to those people in poly markets? What if he all of a sudden decides to put the tariffs on February 1st? I wonder what happens then. They should have left the polls running until February 1st completely finished. But anyway, yeah, he retreated from proposed tariff threat against Europe over Greenland and said the deal was nearing to resolve the dispute over the Arctic island. He also ruled out the use of force, easing concerns over potential US military action. However, uncertainty lingered after Denmark said it would not enter negotiations to cede its territory to the US, while European lawmakers halted approval of the EU-US trade agreement reached in July. At the same time, a sharp sell-off in Japanese government bonds. What's going on in Japan? I'm not even like privy of this, but seems like something's going on. At the same time, a sharp sell-off in Japanese government bonds raised spillover risks and sustained some safe haven demand. Meanwhile, investors are now awaiting the delayed US PCE inflation report later today, which may provide additional clues on the Federal Reserve interest rate outlook. Yeah, we got news today. Coming up at... it's going to be like New York session, as always, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. You have unemployment claims, and then at 10 a.m. you have the PCE index. The inflation data is going to be coming out. And that's 2 hours into New York session. So you got those two events: unemployment, core PCE price index to look out for if you're going to be trading that session. But if you're not, then don't worry. Don't worry about it. All right, we see a little breakout that's currently in play right now. Saw a break below the lows here by 48.30. 48.30 to the downside. There's no direction right now. The bias is still kind of like mixed, right? Daily bias you see right here still says waiting. So it's still like a mixed bias. So, you know, looks like it struggled to push up. Pushed up once, created resistance, pushed up again, couldn't get through it. Decided to break the lows. So that's a beautiful thing about this. And also got a shotgun entry on the 5. Shotgun entry on the 5 down towards support. So that's where it currently looks like price wants to be heading towards. If we're starting to break below support level, if we are rejecting this zone here 1, 2, 3 times, 3 beautiful rejections, nice little 8 SMA confluence, break below these lows, you can see like these supports, some wicks, candlestick close below that support, little shotgun entry, break of the previous candlestick lows to come down to fill this clean range with a bit of an accumulation breakout right there. It's a pretty nice trade, that is. Quite a lot of confluence there. They will nuke him with economics, and rightfully so, adding buys down every 50p structure. Just a little breathe on the minute 15. Oh yeah, just a little breathe over here. Just a little, how many pip range is this? Just a little 86 pip breathe. 86 pip breather. It's already filled up most of the range here, you see? So from this wick down towards here. But from, let's say, from the entry confirmation, which will be the break of these lows, will be about 90 pips. 90 pips on the console and about 72 pips on the shotgun. On the shotgun. Now it's calmed down. You see it's filled more than 65% of the range. We just hit 65%. Right here, we can anticipate some kind of a reaction. So yeah, I still think pretty good catalysts that we still have on Goldie for a potential volume to end of the week here. I mean, it's Thursday, we got Freaky Friday tomorrow, and we already know on Freaky Fridays we've been having a lot of these kind of events that lead up into the weekend, right? Like these news that come out during the weekend. So next week Monday, gotta see how that weekly candle opens, because look at the way this candle opened here. Candle open, boom, no bottom wick. Look at the way the previous week opened, boom, no bottom wick. Look at the way the week after that opened, boom, no bottom wick. So what's gonna happen next week? You know, what could Trump potentially do next week for next week volume? Maybe open again with no bottom wick. No bottom wicks. And just keep moving up bullish. And I bit my tongue the other day. I did. What do you call that? Damn, I forgot the word. Lacerated. Yeah, lacerated my tongue. That shit hurts. That shit hurt. It's like a small laceration. That's the word. What's going on here? What is this? Good morning. What's Judge Judy doing here? I think that's her name, right? Judge Judy. Yeah, what Trump's gonna do next week's become a fundamental part of our analysis. Yes. Yeah, now this is gonna be super important. You know, Trump is quite interesting. He's quite interesting because the guy can be really he made the world kind of worry there for a second. Potential World War III, right? He made the world kind of worry there for a second. I guess his team was like, hey, listen, like Trump, like this is you're getting towards the fringes. Remember, like what was it? Tall Trader was talking about how, I think it was Tall Trader saying something about like how, or John, I think it was John maybe, talking about how Trump is starting to get a little bit scary. Well, that's it. He was literally on the fringe. He was on the fringe. All the other stuff he's doing, you know, like whatever, but like this is World War III we're talking about. So he was on the fringe. It's like the guy, the kid or whatever who pushes it as much as possible, who tries to push a joke as much as possible, you know? You're trying to see how far can you get? How far can you go? You know, and I think he reached like a pretty interesting mark over there. Trying like Kanye West. You know how Kanye West gets away with a lot of things? Man, Kanye West is the only guy who says the most craziest stuff. He could say anti-Semitic stuff and still somehow get away with it, Kanye West. Somehow he just gets away with it. Don't know why. He's the only one who gets away with like really pushing limits. Yeah, so Trump came on and said, all right, guys, I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna go to war, but it's not completely ruled out. Gonna do something else, most probably. Yeah, a little scary with the kidnapping and hijacking on high seas. Maybe they figured out the alien tech. Is hinting at super weapons. Let's look at the map over here. It's a strategic. It's a strategic area for military warfare. All right, let's see. You get like a good map. All right, so Greenland is right there. See what's going on here. So this is the idea, right? This idea. Let's see. So this is the idea. Greenland is right here. So he's on the impression that Greenland belongs to the US because it's in the northern hemisphere. Correct? And you got Russia right over here. And you got a lot of Russian Soviet bases across these shorelines. Now you got this channel right here. You can see the small islands. Oh yeah, maybe do we gotta zoom in again? Yeah, like probably zoom into this. Probably break this thing down over here. Yeah, so this idea. It's in the US, Northern Hemisphere. You got Soviet bases all across these shorelines. And you got this little channel over here. Correct? This is where there are a few Soviet submarines along these channels. Somewhere around this channel area over here. So they have direct access to the US Northern Hemisphere. You see, and if they don't have control over Greenland, they're not within range for any sort of defenses, right? There's a small island here, apparently, which belongs to the UK, and they have nuclear bases on this island right over here. Now you have threat from from Europe, you got threat from Russia, primarily, and the access they have towards the US. With this little piece of land right over here, as an obstacle that does not belong to the US, but it is part of the Northern Hemisphere. Correct? So for the US, they're looking at this as part of their territory. Correct? Because when shit hits the fan, which it might in the future, they will have no defenses. Because by the time they can even do anything, Russian submarines will already be in this area. So if they have Greenland, they can protect the US from any threat from Russia, especially from this channel, before they get to the US. If they don't have Greenland, it's going to be too late. They're going to be in striking distance and missiles and whatnot. They have direct access straight to New York City. Straight to New York City they'll have. So if they ever go to war, it's late for the US. Complete curtains for the US. So it begs a question, how long have they been trying to acquire Greenland for? Because this is not news, right? This has probably been known for quite a long time. So what has been the strategy of the previous administrations? Whereas Trump now is realizing this and actually wanting to do something now. You know what I mean? It's quite interesting. Like, what were the previous administrations thinking about all of this? So yeah, I think that's the idea here. So now, since you see the importance of acquiring Greenland, you now understand why Trump is not going to back down. So they're going to find a way to make sure to secure this piece of land. Right over here, this little ice block. So that's why I think, like, this year, 2026, we're going to keep having, what is it? We're still going to keep having fundamentals, like, surrounding this situation. I don't think this is something that Trump is going to let go of. And, yeah, this is a potential over here for escalation. Because, you know, the EU, they can't do anything without the help of Russia. Right? So they'll need to ask Russia for help if Trump is going to do anything crazy, right? And what is the chance that Russia is going to side with the US? It's pretty low. It's a pretty low chance. So that's gonna result in a potential World War III. It's quite interesting. Maybe Putin's gonna be like, all right, EU, the European Union, listen, I'm taking Ukraine. If you want my help, I'm taking Ukraine. Simple. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing. Geographically, they're in the best possible solution here to stop a sudden attack, like to help the EU. They have the best what do you call it, location right over here. And look at the size of Russia. Man, Russia is huge. So I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, so I think Ukraine might eventually just go to Russia, given enough time. I don't think this is one of those things where it's, you know, it's just gonna blow over. I think eventually that country is gonna go to Russia. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting situation here. Then you got China as well, got North Korea, and what are all those leaders gonna do? You know, maybe China can side with the US. It's gonna be crazy. Putin is a reasonable man. He does not want Ukraine. He wants NATO out of his backyard. I'll paddle to New Zealand if shit goes down. Yeah, you got... Where's Germany? Germany is somewhere around here. I think. Somewhere around here, right? Germany's somewhere around there. Yeah, but this is gonna be quite interesting here. The Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. Man, this ocean here is so freaking cold. Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean is beautiful. Really nice warm flows in there. Yeah, chat. So that's the game plan. That's the game plan. That's the game plan. Look at that beautiful reaction of 65. Africa is safe? Yeah, Africa is safe. Africa is like, Africa is chilling. Apparently they got the Africa wrong on the world map. There's like, people say it's bigger than this. It's bigger than this, but it's been scaled down on the world map. It's supposed to be huge. America looks bigger. This whole section here looks bigger, but Africa is actually bigger than America, Canada, the Americas. What is this? This Madagascar? Or is this Australia? Not really good at geography. It's good. This is Australia, most probably down there, right? I know getting to Australia is quite difficult. You gotta fly for hours. Hours. There's this Madagascar right here. A small little island, right? Or is that Seychelles? No idea. Probably Seychelles or Madagascar, I don't know. One of those. You got the Horn of Africa right here. South Africa, East Africa, North Africa. No. Yeah, let's see. We got a top tier entertainment. It's a good job. You're a good trader. Good job. You can find Jamaica on the map. Yeah, have you ever played that game where they're gonna show you like a picture and you gotta see what part of the world that is? Never played it before. I think I'll be terrible at it though. Gotta look at the signs. Gotta look at the environment. But yeah, this just paid off right here. 65. Now it's just retracing back up because every time we're gonna have like some what do you call it? Like some kind of a distribution there. Then you know, obviously now sellers made some money and now it has to retrace again. It's gonna retest those zones. It's about like a 60, 64, 60 pip drop right there. That's coming back to retest that area. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. GeoGuessr. I see stuff like this, man. No freaking clue, bro. African crew. This looks like somewhere in Europe, though. I guess. Yeah, it looks like Europe because of the number plate right there. Also, the house says, hey, this could be Germany. This looks like Germany. This is somewhere in Germany. Right, Tall Trader? This is Leipziger Street. Leipziger Street. Yeah, 100% somewhere in Germany. Right? How do you, oh, you got to guess? Yeah, right here, Leipzig. Let's go. Let's go. That's how it's done. Look at that. Not bad. Not bad. See? Geography on point, guys. Geography on point. Not that far off. Alright, awesome. Let me quit while I'm ahead. You gotta know when to fold 'em. Know when to hold 'em. Know when to walk away. And know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be plenty of time for counting when the dealing's done. But yeah, now we got a whole day ahead of us here. We can't start counting our cards yet until the dealing is done. Until the final trade has been taken and the dealing is done. Then we can start counting what we made. Yeah, I think price still setting up here beautifully. Just to retrace to, it just came back up to test this area right here. You can see this previous like sell zone. This has been a high volume zone. It's coming to retest, checking to see if we got any more orders sitting up over here. And looks like that's why we're having that reaction. But it's in an interesting phase, you know, it's an interesting phase. This is how we always look at the markets. First, you're going to have your setup phase, the distribution phase, and then there's a phase that comes in next, which is kind of like the retest phase. Retest phase, and then you see, then it either continues down as a continuation of the distribution, or it starts to retest and then sets up again, or it just fakes out. But ideally, we don't want to see the market be too aggro. We want to see it distribute. We want to see it retest, decide whether it wants to go down. If it can't go down, it sets it up again for potential move. Maybe the break of the highs or the break of the lows. And right now, it still looks like it's just doing a retest to continue moving down. German 40 almost set up. 22nd. Here we got a shotgun up. Hey, German 40. All right. Let's see German 40. See, test coming down. Still distributing, I suppose. Doesn't seem like there's a shock in the water, though. That's how price should behave when there's no shock in the water. Let's go on German 40. German 40, 5-minute, still kind of playing out here. Small little shotgun. It looks like the trade I took this morning. It's actually quite similar to that trade. Because we had a really bullish candle, which is kind of annoying because it was distributing from this other region where I was actually planning on taking this trade. I wanted to take this trade over here, but I hesitated on this one. You see Gbpjpy here took this trade. Break of the highs. I was thinking, I was contemplating this one. I said, let me just wait for the candlestick to close then. But you see, when it pushed up in the last few minutes, seconds, literally in the last few seconds, it just pushed up. It just ripped up. Then I'm like, damn, now I got to deal with a bigger candle because it's already made its way from here to here. So that I was like, okay, we're creating a bottom wick, create a small bottom wick, rebroke of the highs. We had a bit of clean range to keep pushing up over there. But that candle was what kind of annoyed me because it pushed up in the last few seconds. That means that setup should have been the first one I should have taken, I guess. Like right here. So okay. Well, very nice. Very nice dub. This has already been low volume until news vibe. So he took a loss on gold sells. Gold sells coming at the bottom of the range. Why take a sell here? Why take a sell here? Look at this freaking... It's like nice little liquidity grab situation that happened on this wick. What time frame? This is about the 1 minute. Oh, 1 minute console breakout. Yeah, this is a console breakout. Easy console, because like it has the liquidity grab confluence right here by the highs. Oh, it like took out these highs. Man, you're gonna see this 1 minute candlestick coming down. Obviously, if it breaks these lows, it's looking to come down to retest these that support zone right over here. So that's like the smoking gun, right? When you see price do that liquidity fetch, that's a smoking gun right there. Obviously, you're gonna see it. Even in real time, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna see that candlestick behave like this is gonna open, they're gonna do that, and then start to come down like quick. You just know. You just know. Because like, what are the chances it does that and then the next candlestick comes and does that back up? If that was to happen, then, you know, GG's. Good game, good game. But chances that happens, shouldn't happen. Do you see you took a sell over here and you took a sell at kind of a random area? See, price created a support. Why take a sell right here? You could at least wait for price to break this wick, if anything. You know? Take a sell on this wick, if anything. Wait for price to break that wick. And you also have a bit of clean traffic down right here. Right? And then it can distribute from this section. At least give yourself a better shot. Let's see what happened. This is 1 minute. See what happened in that area. Okay, yeah. I mean, exactly. That's the area I spoke about. Look at this. This is the same zone I spoke about. That's a liquidity grab from the chart that he sent. Right over here. So at least wait for that wick to get broken. Look, 48.30. You need to wait for 48.30 to get broken. See this? That would have been your move. Right over here. Nice little cheeky little 58 pip move down towards that next support on the 5 minute, which it's still currently filling right now. You know, sometimes when the market wants to fill a range, it will come back to retest, and then continue to come downwards. Right? Continue to come downwards to fill the range down towards 48.21. So yeah, that's what you're currently seeing, because people like try to hold those trades. They go to stop loss and break even or something like this. You see, it doesn't do so aggressively, but it'll just do enough to get you out. So you would come in here, push through that area about like 5 pips. Usually it's enough anyway, but it was still on its way downwards. But it just needed to get rid of some players right over here. So I think that's something you got to look at. Like when you got a strategy, you have to look at your strategy and see if you can build a narrative around it that makes sense. And something that's like consistent, you know, that you can look at that and investigate that. And then you can kind of get a feeling for what the market like thinks, you know, or how the market behaves, which is a good way to get good at trading. If you understand that the market has a certain behavior that's kind of autonomous, right? It behaves in a kind of autonomous way over there. So I think that's important. I think that's when they say, you know, when people say you master your strategy, that's what they mean when they say master your strategy. It's just those little nuanced things. Because those nuanced things, such as like that liquidity graph, for example, I started like Renix confirmations, are those small things that kind of help you better understand probabilities of your trades playing out. You know, these are my type of favorite trades as well. Like whenever I see something like this, because remember, this is a 1 minute candle. So maybe 30 seconds, it was up, 30 seconds, it was already breaking the lows. You can expect a push. Push, zero drawdown that too. Even use 16 pip stop loss, zero drawdown. It's like really nice. Zero drawdown right here too. Break of the lows. Nice little head and shoulders too. You got left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Guess you can still use that as a confluence, but I think it was just mainly playing out this section and then this section here. So you got one bigger one and then you got that smaller one right in here. See, Davos, gold slips after Trump drops tariff threat over Greenland. Yeah, gold slipping. Today is not a bullish day. It's not as a bullish day as previous days were. It's not bullish because Trump changed his mind. Attention now turns to PCE inflation data for cues on the Federal Reserve's rate cut path. While the Fed signals one cut this year, markets continue to price into starting as early as June or July, with another likely in the fourth quarter. A hotter inflation print could lift the dollar and push back easing expectations, while a softer reading could bring an April rate cut firmly into focus. April. Thank you very much. So that's Q2. So Q2, we're gonna expect some kind of potential rate cut there for the dollar. So we should be hopefully having a catalyst by Q2. That is rate cuts in April. And I think that's gonna be something we can look forward to. You know, like when you think of banks and institutions, they kind of also focus like quarterly, right? Because they're on a higher time frame. Look at this. Look at the way gold here on the quarterly time frame has just been moving up bullish. They focus mostly on also higher, as much as they're involved in lower time frames as well. They're also focusing mainly on the bigger picture, the quarterlies, because they're holding for way longer. I mean, think of some of the banks in your local city and how many years they've been around, you know, like 100 years plus. So you can see like the value and position holding over such a long period like that. So I think that's where the focus majority as well on. And intraday time frames. Yeah, like some firms, there's some firms which do like hyper scalping as well. There's some hedge funds which specialize on intradays, hyper scalping and whatnot. It's quite the operation owning a hedge fund. It is not light work. I can assure you that. Man, when I started trading, I had a dream to own a hedge fund, you know? Like I had a dream watching all those movies, all those series. I'm like, man, one day I want to own a hedge fund. But man, right now, I don't want that stress. That's a lot of stress. You got to find really smart people to help you. And finding smart people is not easy. It is very difficult. Unless you're smart yourself and you build the whole thing. But I'm not that smart. I don't need to be that smart to make money in the market. Some people are extremely smart. So, no, I have to be a genius to trade. Right? Just a retail trader, you don't have to be a genius. You just got to be patient. You just got to be disciplined. You have to have a system in place that you can follow consistently. And preferably one that's stress-free. Yes, Woods, I see your hand is up. You got a question for us, Woods? Class is in session. All right, look. Range has been filled down towards support now. The full range has been filled, but it needed to first take these players out, correct? With a TFX entry confirmation right over here. It first needed to take these TFX traders out because there's a chance that TFX traders may not be that greedy that they're going to hold more than say 59 pips or 58 pips. But if they are, then you know it's got to come up, it's got to take them out and then continue to fill the range. Do you want to own your own broker platform? Yeah, I think that could be interesting. I think that could be interesting. November came. Yeah, it's still in distribution. It wasn't really set up. It wasn't in a setup phase. It's still in that distribution phase. Oh, nice. The real sizes. Go to space. Flat Earth theory. What is this? Man, is this like Pangea or something? Not Pangea, but this looks like an AI tried to create a world map. Where'd you even get this picture? Oh, this is so confusing. November came. Morning, Vic. What did I tell you yesterday after the Davos meeting? What did you tell me? This is Pangea. Yeah, that's Greenland. Greenland still in a strategic position, eh? I think Greenland has just always been in a very, very interesting position here. Bordering Canada, right? Canada and then Russia. It's like the gateway. It's just still like the gateway for the US and Russia today. What seems to be the next good support zone? Support zone below. Below, let's see. We got 15-minute. All right, let's see. We got 15-minute support right over here. Below that 15-minute support, price can come down. It can come down to this next section, which is like around 200 pips. So that's the next key support area. If you really wanted to see gold tumble today, it would have to tumble below 48.17 to continue moving down bearish. As you can see on the 5 right now, 5 has just already filled up this small range right here. So it's going to set up again. But we're predominantly seeing a lot more selling pressure in Goldspot today. Well, I woke up this morning and I saw this bull run here. I thought price was actually in a rally, but yeah, we're only up like 0%. Like the daily was basically still a doji. So you can really see the effect of what Trump said yesterday assimilate into the market. And you know, that's what I mean. That touch point right there of understanding those macro fundamentals and how they affect price, it will take your game and elevate your game to a whole new level. You know what I mean? It will elevate your game to a whole new level. It's like if you're into, like, for example, aromatherapy, right? You're gonna start aromatherapy with, you know, a few essential oils. You know, maybe like you're gonna experiment with 2. You're gonna experiment. The more confident you get, if you do like 3, do like 4, you start elevating that smell a bit more. You know, it becomes a little bit more sophisticated. So that's what it is when you are using fundamentals. Especially macro fundamentals. You know, you don't have to have rocket science about what's happening on Forex Factory and what the inflation data points here are going to mean, and, you know, try and like figuring it out yourself, what unemployment change is going to do and that sort of thing. You just have to pay attention to like what the macros are, because these leave these red folders here. They've been used for the Federal Reserves. You know, it's mainly for them to determine how to proceed. That's their job, right? And based off what they say, then we can react from a point of information, because you're a retail trader. You're in general operating from a point of zero information. correct? Because retail traders don't even have the systems in place to get this information, let alone the education to learn where to find this type of information and to do the due diligence around that information and to break it down in a sense that is very, very difficult. You know what I mean? It's very, very difficult. So I think we're going to leave that work to the institutions. Let them decide what they're going to do next, because at the end of the day, it's really up to them, right? As much as you know about the market, if it doesn't want to budge, it's not going to budge. Like when Michael Burry almost blew his accounts on that housing bubble thing. And at some point here, and if you watch the movie, at some point it's like, man, I think the world economy is rigged. He came to a realization that the market doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't give a shit how good your analysis is. If the market wants to move in a certain direction, it's going to move in that certain direction as much as it possibly can. So Michael Burry in that movie was literally blowing an account. He was in a massive drawdown. He was like, wow, you know, price should be going down economically. This all makes sense that this should actually go down. But it just kept pushing him drawdown, 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 drawdown until he was eventually right. But you know, it's very risky. And that's Michael Burry we're talking about. That's a single individual. You know what I mean? Like the probability that you're going to be consistently doing that is close to 0%. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to be very patient. You got to be very patient and just wait for the data to come out. Because when the data comes out and the market moves, it's not going to all move in one day. It's going to move over a period of time. You see, like, right now, we've been in a kind of a wave with so much volume since last year. And that volume is still coming over and we're still taking advantage of that same volume up until today. So you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to figure anything out. You just have to find a way to get this information in a very simple way and then build confidence off of that. You know what I mean? So it's like you can see yesterday Trump spoke, boom, boom, boom. Obviously, market's not going to do much anymore after that speech that he gave. You can see it. Makes sense. Awesome. Then we wait for the next thing that's going to happen. The next thing Trump is going to say. The next catalyst that's going to be in play. And when that comes out, we're also going to see the market behave in a certain way. Right? There's no boogeyman here. You know, when you're going to watch ICT, he's going to convince you that there's a boogeyman. There's a boogeyman and there's an algorithm and, you know, there's a magician somewhere behind the curtains. That's what he's going to feed you. Because it's what you want to believe. It's what you believed already when you're watching movies and all of these things. But trading is really not that complicated. Like, just pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to the mainstream news. Because in trading, news is like, if you ever done journalism, in journalism, I remember I used to do journalism in school. News gets old really, really, really fast, right? So whenever you're looking at some kind of Sunday Open, Fugazi gap from Sunday Open, I don't know what, that's also like very old news. If you look at Sunday Open last week, but we're going to war this week, what the hell does Sunday Open have to do with anything that's happening in the chart right now? You know what I mean? Because that's not what we're calling like over-analysis. So you're going to do over-analysis like that technically, and you can do it over analysis also fundamentally when you start looking at things like CTO data. Why are you looking at this CTO data? What do you know about CTO data? Just because it tells you like gold maybe during this time has been bearish, so the monthly candlestick should be bearish? How does that help you? It doesn't help you. It doesn't help because the market conditions are going to be different all the time, you know? Like, I don't know what Trump is going to do tomorrow. What kind of policies are going to come into play? What rate cuts are going to come into play? So that's a whole basis. I'm saying this because this is the whole basis behind TFX concepts. TFX concepts is around what's currently happening in the market. It's not about what happened ages ago. We want to look at what currently happened in the market. So you can see like right here, currently price had moved up, right? And then it started to show signs of struggle. Right over here, you had your accumulation breakout, you got your shotgun play. So we're in the realm of what's happened. Because look, there's a timeline between PA. If you've noticed, sometimes PA, it takes time to set up, right? So by currently, I don't necessarily mean just this individual candle or this individual candle that's playing. There's a time span on the chart to how price moves. Just because it moved up like this, and just because it moves down, for example, would not necessarily mean that this bull run is over, because this could still be in play. But the market still needs to set that up so we can continue to move up bullish. Correct? So that momentum is still in play, but it's just setting up, it's retracing, because the market doesn't go just straight in one direction. But the idea is you want to get a good chunk of PA and then kind of like master the floor. Let's call it the order flow of this specific area right here. Correct? And then you get a better understanding of what can potentially happen next. So you don't always got to look so back. Just focus on right now. Gbpjpy, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's fairy dust. Yeah, you just gotta focus on what's happening right now. And you're gonna have less stress and less work to do. Because a lot of us, we're gonna have these lists that we have. I don't know if anybody in the chat has, probably still. If you're still new to trading, you probably have like these really big lists. These little checkboxes that you need to see. You're gonna have like 10 or 50, whatever, that you need to see. Everything, the stars gotta line up. So we're trying to refine all of this down to a simplified approach that's stress-free, that you can let probabilities and time do the work. So you're gonna be more consistent. You know, the less checkboxes you have, the more consistent you can be as well. That's why you're really good as a trader when you first start. And then as time goes on, you become really bad as a trader because you're learning a lot of stuff. But it's, you know, you have to anyway, because you can't be on beginner's luck your whole life. So this is what typically happens. You start okay with less knowledge, so you're going to have a better experience somewhat. Then you start to learn a lot. Then you start to have that character development phase, which happens underneath here. This is where your character is built, where the pressure is. Just like how diamonds are built under pressure, you got to be built under pressure as well. Right here, until you can start coming back up. Then you start to realize, you look at yourself here and you say, wow, you know, my mentality is so different than when I was all the way back over here, because I had like a beginner mentality right over here. So now you got through the character development and you come back up and you look back at yourself and see how far you've come. And you say, okay, awesome. And you know, you keep going up this way, because now we call that now maturity as well. Right? So I think that's it. That's it. You're going to learn a lot down here. And then as you refine your strategy, you come back to the simplified way in a sense, and then build upon that refinement. But you need, that's why I said in the video, when the girl said, stick to one strategy, I said, don't stick to one strategy. Understand where you're coming from. But you need the pressure. You need the character development. You need to understand overall market conditions. You need to understand your enemy. If you're a basketball player, do you only study one player on the other side of the team? How is that going to help you if you're going to study only one player? You got to understand all the players, right? You understand how they move, where they move, what they're most likely to do. And then you can better refine based off where the coach puts you on the field, on the court. And I said, okay, so now it's your time. You got to defend against this guy. So, you know, you're much more better equipped to be refined at that point. In case you have yourself in a scenario where now you got to defend against that guy and another guy, and the market becomes like a little bit different, right? The variables shift. The variables shift. You know, because variables shift in the market. And sometimes you got to adapt to those shifts. But how are you going to adapt if you're a one-trick pony? You can't adapt if you're a one-trick pony. One-trick ponies, when shit hits the fan, shit hits the fan. What are they going to do? Nothing. Can't do anything, right? So that's why, like, that's been what's been keeping us also quite consistent here as well. The fact that we know overall market conditions. So we've been able to adapt. As you can see, we've been adapting from all these previous trades over here, from the way we've been taking the setups, the type of setups that we take, just like small adaptation to the pips that we use. Our approach to certain things. If we see a lot of volume, we adapt to that volume. We don't use structure anymore, for example, because we can't get that structure without a big stop loss. So it allows us to, it already gives us a sense of what it means to be a trader, which is being able to adapt. But if you're a one-trick pony, then, you know, at that point, then I think you're just stuck in this kind of like universe on Instagram. I see a lot of these Instagram people, I tell you, like, most of those people are unprofitable. The more I look at them and the more I hear what they're talking about, a lot of them are just getting by. Let's just say it this way. They're just getting by. You know, some traders are able to just get by for some time until it catches up. You can get by for maybe like, you know, a couple months. You can have like some payouts, maybe like a quarter, but you're just getting by until the point where you're going to have that maturity in. So, you know, it's all depending on like the kind of a foundation that you're building for yourself. Correct? It just found, oh, nice little breakout here, but it looked like it wanted to fake out first. So it did like a pull down. It pulled down. Oh, just by, oh, that's rough. It broke first and pulled down to continue filling to move up bullish. Yeah, I think you gotta like build solid foundation. Tall trader is the grid. See bulls. Alrighty, I'm long. Start so nice 0.05, kept to like 400 pips. You just do the shotgun most of the time. I like the shotgun with the console breaks. Those are my favorite. That's what we had. Do we not have that yesterday? Remember this? You remember this range we spoke about yesterday? Did anyone catch any trades there? Oh, where's this thing? Go bring that here. Oh man, I'll just do this on TradingView. How do I lose the indicators? I've never understood how I do that. My indicators are here. How do I put this back onto the... How do I get my indicators back on here? Or is it just this? No. Chat, how do you navigate this? Does anybody know how to put the chart back on here? Or do I gotta delete everything? Alright, let me delete all of that. And, not that one. Alright, I think it should be good. Yeah, alright. So we had this was looking for yesterday's. Oh, yesterday's range was right here. So that was the range we said that was supposed to get filled. It filled it quite a bit. Until a bias price was breaking. This was the same trade as Momar. Oh, is it Momar? No. Hey, we got Marcelo. Marcelo back here. Didn't see this message. Good old TFX entries again, 32% from 20 trades. I started over 106 account to build patient. Big money is not yet for me. Well done, well done, well done. Nice. Nice to see you around here, Marcelo. Yeah, someone took that same trade yesterday as well. We had that buy to fill up that clean traffic on the left-hand side. I was during the pre-NY session right here. See, also break above these highs. There's a nice little accumulation breakout there too. Price is getting beyond that zone. Boom, distributed. And then what else happened for the rest of the day? Guess we had Trump speaking during the New York. See if he really moved markets. So that was like 8:30. Yeah, from 8:30. I think this is when he started talking about not putting the tariffs on Europe on the February 1st. And not using force to acquire Greenland. And then we started to see more like bearish BA coming into the market. You can see it already kind of lost its confidence in gold buys. It started coming down like this. Coming down. And you know, that's kind of what we've been seeing like since that event. It's kind of like same thing we've been seeing here today too. But it's interesting because it still does not mean that he's not going to acquire Greenland, right? We've already spoken and broken down how on the world map strategic that area is going to be for the US. So there's still that lingering exuberance in the background, which is creating like a quite an interesting dynamic where we're seeing both bullish momentum, like lots of volume, bullish, and lots of volume bearish. Correct? Because that dynamic. And you can even see here in the London session, London is only plus 0.03%. So daily candle is a doji. Right? So you can really dig into that that psychology of markets. But of course, as the day opens up, like a bottle of wine, you know, you open a new bottle of wine and then the smell kind of dissipates. It's going to also dissipate into the day, and the session is going to behave as like the rest of the day is going to behave differently according to the session. So as we come into pre-New York, if we start to push up bullish, you know, we may start to see some bullish continuations. Same as if we push down bearish, or if we just consolidate, then we just got to wait. But right now it's still potent because obviously all we've had is Asia so far. We just had Asia since the events from yesterday, and we're just into that London Open right now. So until we start getting more PA, then we're going to get a better idea of where the daily is going to be heading. But most likely bullish, right? I don't think there was anything detrimental that Trump said that would mean that gold should start tumbling now. He just said he was not going to use force, and he just dropped the tariffs for now. But yeah, we're going to still see what else the man says. But I think the market overall is still bullish. You know, silver, gold, platinum, like we're still overall macro fundamentally bullish. You know, like the thing is, we didn't even expect Trump to do this, right? Like he just came over the weekend. This was from this accumulation right here, and then decided to kind of go like public about this, which created a very nice catalyst that helped us move, that helped the market move. See how crazy it moved since that point? That just kind of helped the market move. Right? That just came out of nowhere. So that's the thing about trading. Whenever we get these kind of events, it's a time to take advantage. Take advantage of them as much as you possibly can, because we're going to need a small break in between till the next event, right? So we don't know when the volume is really going to die out, but so far January has been amazing. The macros have been holding price beautifully for us, giving us enough volume for a good duration of time. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Just think of this like a river, right? This is a river that needs to be fed all the time. You know, so it's got to be fed from the source. And who's the source right now? That's going to be Mr. Trump over here. So here's the source, right? If we don't get enough flow into the river, then eventually the river is going to start drying up. You know, a river's good right now. Think of it like a river that, you know, it just rained. There's a lot of rain, so, you know, it's still fresh over here, but got to be careful. Look out for the next drought. And I scale into trades most of the time, so first lots are low. Yeah, scaling in positions, good idea. I used to do that too. It's good for psychology, especially. Like if, for example, if you're looking for retracements into zones to buy, so you can already get stuck in as prices getting into your levels. Just in case like one of those trades don't get executed, right? Like, because sometimes it'll come like this and then start to reverse before triggering you in. I see a really nice breakout here though. I like this little break here, nice little correction there. Actually, kind of like a shotgun right there too. Just the same way like we got a shotgun right here. Same kind of like situation that happened right here. A little bit of a shotgun play. Price move up. Shotgun play here. Price move down. Fill the range. Now this range also just got filled from this point to this point. Which was a, let's see, that was about 22 pips. 22 points. I think that's actually what I spent some time looking at different live streams yesterday, and I think that's really what makes me stand out. I think from these other traders is we really emphasize a lot on these kind of like macro events and how important it is. Not like just old stuff, you know, like how do I put this, like you gotta have your ear on the ground. You gotta have your ear on the ground. Like they say in Wall Street, right? You gotta have your ear on the ground. So you always gotta keep in tabs of what's currently happening macro fundamentally like that. Like, trust me, this gives you such an immense edge. And once you know those specific times volume kicks in, you get to have certain results in the market. Even if sometimes I mess up my entries. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes I mess up my entries, right? Because I'm at a point where I understand this certain time and this certain event was happening and moving the markets, that even if I mess up my entries, it's not a 50-50, because at this time, money should be coming in, and at this time, we should be getting a follow through of the volume. So let me explain to you this, right? Like yesterday, for example, pre-London session, pre-NY session, for example, I wouldn't be getting stuck in earlier here. There's a reason why I come in here. Even if I butcher my entries, I can still get away with it. Because I've been trading for so long now that I understand whenever we're in these conditions, at these specific times, you can butcher entries and still get away with it. Of course, you don't want to do that. You always want to have some kind of a confirmation, right? You want to have some kind of a structure, some kind of a confirmation. But it's just that understanding that makes the difference. Right? That's why I love that scene from the Matrix movie when Neo is trying to bend the spoon and the girl is like, you can't bend the spoon, it's impossible. But what does she say? But you have to kind of like bend your perspective. Because a lot of people are still under the impression the market knows what a Fibonacci is or a trend line is. You know, the market doesn't know any of these things. So I think over the years you elevate, you start to realize the market, it operates in a very different way than what you would want to think or how you teach somebody, because you can't teach somebody psychology. That's like trying to have someone with like experience just give you experience. You can't just give somebody experience, right? You have to be able to at least bring it to the light, and it's for them to see the light. Some people don't want to see the light, you know, and that's based off of their own journey, right? But we can only bring these information to the light, and based whereof you are in your journey, you will either understand that or it will just take you time to understand that. You know, that's how you're going to have children. You want to teach your children something at a young age, but you know they're not going to be ready to understand what you're saying right now. So it's going to take them time to understand that. You know, it's the same process. So when you're in the market, you got to think of yourself like a child mentality. And the more time you spend in the market, the faster you're growing up, right? So in real life, it takes us years, but in the market, it can take a much shorter time depending on how much effort you put in. Because you're already at a stage where you're mature enough in the real world that you can reflect that back onto the chart work. Whereas a child cannot do that because they're still in the development phase and it's going to take them years, right? But you're already at an age where you can do it already and exponentially increase the rate of your learning, right? So anything can be sped up. Just like Elon Musk, he said this himself, anything can be sped up. Right? So you're not the way I look at it, it's like you're not a child anymore. So whenever you're gonna have like something you're trying to achieve, you have to be willing to put the effort in. You know, you have to be willing to differentiate yourself from the next guy. And that's, you know, if you're disciplined, being disciplined is the way you do that. If somebody tells you to take, let's say, 2 trades maximum in a day, you have to find it in you to stick to 2 trades in a day. I know some of us can't do that. 2 trades, man, what are you sentencing me here to life? 2 trades? I got bills to pay. I got accounts to flip. What's this guy talking about 2 trades? But you got to stick to it, man. It's like discipline. That's what discipline is. You know, discipline is a thing that you're going to do that most people don't want to do, right? It's not you doing what most people want to do. Most people are going to want to take 5 signals a day, 10 signals a day. But those people are not profitable. Most successful people, they're always doing things that most people don't want to do. So you, by virtue of knowing that, you know what you have to do now. Do what most people don't want to do. That's it. Let's just see right here. There is no spoon. So it's just breaking mental walls. That's what I call it. It's like a wall. You have a wall. What is this? SL to be after partial 80% close, liquidity grab. Yeah, I think let's see here on the 1 minute. Let's still distribute from here. You got a little minor one in here too. Boom, boom, boom. That's the thing I like about these accumulation distribution, because you can really see that the market needs them to have the next move, right? You can really see that the market needs them to have the next move. It depends on how you skin this goat. Some people skin the goat by drawing fair value gaps like this, and somehow they're able to see some kind of consistent something here. I don't know what the hell it is that they're looking at, but you know, when the market moves, I look at it this way. When market moves, it wants to move in this direction anyway. It's still going to move in this direction, right? So what is it? What are the characteristics of what it does before it starts to move in any given direction? Correct? You're going to see accumulation, distribution. Just like in the real world. That's how money flows in the real world as well. Does money flow with fair value gaps in the real world? I don't know. Can you see a fair value gap in the real world? In the matrix, that is reality. Is there a fair value gap somewhere you can see? I don't see it. But I see accumulation distribution everywhere I look. Accumulation distribution. Accumulation distribution. Look at all these apartments. Look at all these buildings around you. What are they doing? Accumulating, distributing. Accumulating, distributing. That's how money flows. I don't know a fair value gap. I've never seen a building with a fair value gap. So, you know, that's a whole idea here. It's going to take some people to understand this, but, you know, at the end of the day, I think as long as you have these little nuggets, they will always play a role. Maybe not now, but later. Right? Maybe not now, but later. You just have to trust the process. But yeah, right now, couple moves playing out. Daily still 0.02%. We're still just kind of hovering here. Literally nothing. Yeah, look at this very, very small daily candlestick, doji candlestick. 4 hour looks like we got clean range to keep pushing up towards 48.60. See the hourly time frame, daily. Yeah, like those Minnesota daycares. Minnesota daycare, they also accumulate, distribute. Whatever happened to them, those daycares? We got yeah, like import export businesses, you know. Import export. I know an Indian guy who deals gold, and you ask him like what he does for a living. He says, I'm import export business. But he's quite a mogul in the gold dealing industry. He mines the gold. So he goes to countries like What countries he goes to? Right now he's in Dubai, but he would mine in Zim. I think Zim, South Africa. Yeah, but you know, it's import, accumulate, distribute. I tell him I'm also in import export business. My import export is just accumulate, distribute. We accumulate, then distribute. Just like you accumulate the physical gold and then you distribute. So same industry, sir. Probably he actually owns a yacht. He owns a yacht. It's not like a super yacht. He owns a yacht in Dubai. It's like it's a yacht, but it's not a super yacht. If I mention his name, that's gonna be quite controversial. I don't want to mention his name. A lot of people are gonna know who that is. Import export. Trump cut all support now to them. Arabic accent. You don't have a stream in this accent? Yeah, we should. Man, you watch this Indian streamers like what's his name? Traders Paradise. Man, there are a lot of like traders in India. Lots of traders. Yeah, a lot of Indians. The largest population of Indians actually live in New York. New York City. The home of Wall Street. The largest population of Indians. Yeah, look at this. Volume here is starting to die out. See, like, it's gonna be in a very tricky situation here. Very tricky situation. We got resistance by 48.37. We've just had a rejection. We got a couple of rejection wicks here. Volume started to like die out a little bit. It's still deciding. It's very undecisive. You can say plus 0.03% on the daily. Yeah, you can get these moves. Clean structural moves, etc. But overall market brain is undecisive right here. So we've just basically built ourselves a range. We've basically built ourselves a range from here to here. It's about 174 pips. So I reckon once we start breaking out of this range, we should see like more of a follow through for the rest of the day. You like to wait for the daily bias? Yeah, especially for this session here, I like to wait for the daily bias because I kind of just got tired of getting caught in gold choppiness during the London session. So I started waiting for daily bias. There was a point last year that gold would not move unless there was a daily bias. Like, no matter how good the setup was, it was always like the hit rate was low. I can't remember when we started waiting for the daily bias. It was sometime last year. Like towards the tail end, sometime last year. And it's been specific to this session. Because, you know, daily bias doesn't really mean all too much in the earlier sessions. Because earlier sessions, obviously, Asia is still setting up. Pre-London is still early. Hey, you think it was in October? Yeah, I was gonna guess October. Yeah, but you see, Asia is too early. Pre-London's too early. So it's only when you come into the London, you truly get a grasp for what markets have been doing or what they're expecting to do. So when you come in here and you're seeing the dailies are doji, then you can also imagine that there's overall indecision in the market, right? So you'll still see that happen on the LTF too. You can see it fluctuating up and down. And then by the time we start getting into pre-NY, that's when it should, at that point, solidify more of a directional bias. Like if we get to pre-NY, for example, and we're still in this range, most likely we're going to range here until the New York session open. It will just come down and, you know, maybe at that point you can even look for buys back up to the range or maybe even look for sells here. It solidifies the idea that we're not going anywhere, most likely until we either get that breakout or until the next volume session, which is going to be the New York session. So you see, like timing is a very, very important thing in trading. Like you really, truly have to understand these times of how price operates. Because when you're new to trading, you don't really pay attention to that much. You kind of more paying attention to if there's a setup, there's a setup. If there's candlesticks printing in a certain way, then it's a setup. Because you have not yet had the experience to see something play out at a specific time enough times to build confidence and an edge around that. Because that takes time. But after your first year, you know, usually the first year is really good because you got one market cycle under your belt. By the time you go into your second year, ideally you should be quite privy to a lot of those concepts. Because now you know what you're looking for, right? Sometimes you just got to know what you're looking for. Because it could be right under your nose, but you don't see it until it's like somebody points it out to you or until you just have like some small aha moment. Yeah, timing is everything. It's very important. That's why I said like sometimes I can literally butcher my entries and my setups, but they will still play out based off how volume it behaves during that time. That's why I say like pick every day, pick a specific time you're trading. This has to be specific. So you can already start locking in that psychology. And that's going to be based not off FX Vic Mensa's schedule, but off your schedule. So, you know, you got to see like when is the best time that I can trade and how do those 1 hour candlesticks look like during that time that I'm trading? Do they give solid pushes? What the kind of characteristic to expect from those hourly candles during that time? Like for me, I've mastered 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, and from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern, and from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern. So these are the time zones that I'm fully locked into for these hourly candles. So you see for pre-London, we're looking at 1 hourly candle. For London session, because we're also streaming, we're looking at three hourly candlesticks. And then for pre-NY again, we're just looking for 1 hourly candle. But to be fair, the London usually will give the setup within the first hour anyway. So if it wasn't for the stream, then I would just do 1 hour each. Because it's refined to a point where there's going to be volume in that time anyway. The extra 2 hours is just because, you know, what else are you going to do? But you can just have London 1 hour and then come back. If there's nothing, you can try pre-NY 1 hour. Out of these 3 sessions of mine, I'm going to definitely at least end the day here with at least a minimum of 1 to 2 trades. You know, and that's all you need. You don't need to be on the charts all the time. You don't need 5-10 trades. You can't be consistent with 5-10 trades a day, you know. But you can be consistent with 1 trade a session. 1 hour a session, 1 trade a session. You got stress-free. And the good thing about this too is you got a new set of eyes, right? So for 1 hour, you can be fully focused, right? And then you take a break and then come back another hour. You can be fully focused. You got a fresh set of eyes. Because when you don't have a fresh set of eyes, you feel like you need to get paid because you've been on the chart the whole time. And eventually, you're going to force yourself into a position. So that's a trick. That's a trick that they don't want you to know. That's the secret right there. The secret is you can actually decide when to trade. They don't want you to know that because the market is open 24/7. If it's closed over the weekend, you know you can trade cryptos. Forex is closed, you can trade cryptos. They want you to trade. They want you active. Okay? They want you active. Imagine going to a casino and every day you go to a casino just for maybe, you know, just a couple of games and then you leave the casino. People would wonder like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, you know, why is he coming in casino for only like 30 minutes a day? Imagine a guy who does that. Imagine if there was a guy who went to the casino for like 30 minutes each day, played maybe a game, and then left. Right? probability should be on in his favor at that point. So imagine a guy going to a casino and he plays roulette. He plays one round of roulette and he risks 2%. 2%, right? That his job is to come every day, play one round of roulette, see what the board is saying. If the board is red, it means, oh, it's a bearish day. So the daily bias is bearish if you get a streak of red. If you get a streak of black, I think in some casinos, or green, then you're going to see the daily bias is bullish, right? So you're going to casino as if they're playing off macro volume, right? So you bet on black and red, black and red. But every day you go, maybe take like one bet 2%. If you see it's like super red and you see like a streak, you trade that day. You gamble that day. If there's no streak, when it's just red, green, red, green, green, red, 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 like that, you don't trade that day. That means it's consolidating. The casino table is consolidating. So even using that logic, I truly believe that will give you an edge over the casino. Simple tips in trading that makes sense in real life as well, you know? And then people are going to wonder what it is that you're going to do there. Why are you only coming for 30 minutes? 30 minutes then leaving. You know? But you got to have a strategy. You got to have a system. You got to have something that they don't know. I go to the gym. I primarily go to the gym for pull-ups because I don't have a pull-up bar. Right? I don't have a pull-up bar. So I go to the gym for pull-ups. So I go to the gym. I sign in. Let's say if it's like 4 p.m. I sign in at 4 p.m. And by the time it's 4:10, I'm already out. So you look at the logbook and you say Vic signed in here for 10 minutes has been gymming. You know what I mean? But they don't know I have the equipment at home. And by me having that equipment, having that knowledge, I'm going to save money because it's a free gym anyway. I go to, but I'm going to save, in theory, I save money because I don't pay gym memberships in general, but I get to do it at my own pace and it's much more efficient. Correct? So it's always like, you're always trying to think, how can you take as much control from life as possible? In all areas, you might not have control because I don't have control over the gym. If I want to use a certain thing, maybe somebody else is using it. What are you going to do? You have no control over that. So what can you do to control certain situations in your life? And to what extent can you push that? So now you see how that character development on the charts, I've also built my character development in real life. Because I wasn't always like that type of person as well before trading. Before trading, I was very much not like the way I am right now. But trading has taught me certain things that I can reflect back onto the real world. Things like that. Very important lessons. Because, man, if you're disciplined enough to even make money consistently from the market, imagine that same mentality in real life. Just think about it. Because people are failing all the time in trading. It's the probability of people successfully trading consistently is much lower. So if you're already consistent, now imagine that knowledge taken from the charts applying into your real life and what you do in the real world. So there's levels. There's psychological levels to this. And I think, you know, the whole idea has always been to break those levels because we're all looking at the same chart, right? We all see the same chart over here, but we all kind of look at it slightly differently based off of what we're looking for. Some of you see FEGs, support resistance. Some of you are looking at a trend line right now. Some of you are zoomed out looking at the HTF. So I think it's really important to just understand how important the mental game of trading is beyond just the P&L and you know, chasing all the time. You can't chase. Completely off topic, but if you're still interested in adding Geopolitical strategy game to the Discord server, I found 2 more. No idea how good they are. Here are the links. Oh, nice. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna save that here. Oh. How do we get this? Copy message link. The best way to have an edge over the house is not to interact with the house. Oh, limit that interaction. Because how are you going to get money if you don't interact with the house? Any tips for trading a funded challenge? I can make profit on my personal, but on the funded, the psychology to trade your P&L each day following consistent rules and shit. Yes. The thing with funded programs is you put it on a pedestal when you start it. So just the fact that now you put it on this kind of like a pedestal, it's gonna make you feel different psychologically, right? So it's all about just tricking the brain into focusing on what you've been doing that has made you confident enough to take that funded program. So you just almost have to switch off a part of your brain that's thinking that you're doing a funded program. Correct? Like you just have to focus on your data, focus on your plan, what it is that you need to do to pass that challenge. Yeah, obviously keep in mind the rules that you are doing a challenge, but more than that, focus on getting confident setups you feel really good about, right? Setups that you always got to tell yourself before you take the setup, I don't mind losing this trade. So when you're doing that with a funded program, because now you have it on a pedestal, you have to always remind yourself, and this is something you're going to say to yourself before you take each trade until you get to a point where you have a buffer and you're making withdrawals, then you can kind of loosen up a bit. But you have to tell yourself, I don't mind losing this trade. Right? So every trade that you take, oh wow, look at this. Oh, Lee. What's going on here? Did Trump say something? Trump said something. Somebody said something here. What is going on? Price just dumped like 100 pips. Yeah, you gotta keep telling yourself this. Look at this little accumulation breakout here. Look at this chat. Little accumulation breakout. Ha! This is awesome. This is so awesome here. This is so awesome. Little accumulation breakout situation. Because the market loves to do what? Accumulate and then distribute. Just like in the real world. We like to accumulate and then distribute. Accumulate, distribute. Right? Look at this. Even this random move, you know what happens? I've seen this happen before. I've seen this happen loads of times before. You know, like what you even started to see with also like before news events, you will see price accumulate and then distribute, right? So even if price has a macro event that just came out, which is quite interesting as well, because I've never understood how the market is able to do this. But even if it's a macro event, which in theory should be a surprise in a sense, like maybe Trump could have tweeted something right now, but the PA is always somehow ahead. And it's always been a mystery to me. I'm going to my 6th year of trading, and the longer you are on the charts, the longer you start to realize certain things, especially with how the PA structure is formed. So you can say you can really go down a rabbit hole when it comes down to certain things like this. All right, got my second entry. Now I'm at full risk. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, this was insane. Let's see if there was a tweet or something here. Man, I've seen that phenomenon happen so many times. But this was, let's see, let's go on to live news and investigate this. Do we got anything here? Danish PM. This is at 2:28. I think we still need to get the push notifications in. US envoy. Trump said we should spend more time on the Arctic as older. That was about 34 minutes ago. There might have been something that came out. Maybe go check on Financial Juice or something. Trading View is also a bit behind. We're not getting anything on Trading View. Let's go Financial Juice. Which was that anything that came out? Or was that just technical? But that didn't feel technical. Or it could have been just trades for institutions, probably an institutional play, maybe some profit taking, some risk control, because I don't see anything here. Still Davos World Eco Meeting going on. Ugh, what is this? You gotta like sign up for something here. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there was. Let's go on, Mr. Walter Bloomberg. Walter Bloom. This was the guy I got my notification from in 2020 when COVID vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine first came out. I just saw it here, like, dude, on my MacBook, Walter Bloomberg, COVID vaccine. Then Gbpjpy skyrocketed. Let's see, that's 6 hours ago. Yeah, it doesn't look like there was anything. Yeah, got financial juice as well. Here, 2 hours ago, China Commerce Ministry. Yeah, it doesn't look like there was anything. It could have just been a technical thing. There's no news here. I think the boogeyman just came out to play for a bit. That was a pretty big drop. Didn't happen all at once though, but it gradually did it. So regarding slippage, it might not be as hectic. I think if we break above 48.38, we should be off to the races. 48.38. Let's see, 48.38 is just by... Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's true. 48.38, we should be off to the races there. You know, we also got some clean traffic past 48.38, 130 pip range from this section right here. So it's probably doing that accumulation, right? It's probably like getting ready for potential move during... I mean, at this rate, at this pace, New York session, right? It's quite slow right now, and it's just stuck. The dailies, you know, 48.32 here is that daily flip. So we're just hovering around that HDF indecision of what to do next. You know, the daily is bearish 0.15%. It pushed down, but this is not like such a significant move down because it's still within the broader range. You still got support right here and you got resistance right here. So it hasn't really still moved anywhere. I think it's going ranging now. Yes. Yeah, just testing the lows and then come back, retest the highs, possibly just bounce around or just bounce around the zone, you know, obviously. I feel like we're going to have a real interesting Freaky Friday at this point. Davos. Gold slips after Trump drops tariffs. Well, the Fed signals one cut this year. Markets continue to price in two, starting as early as June or July, with another likely in the fourth quarter, according to FP Markets' Aaron Hill. A hotter inflation print could lift the dollar and push back easing expectations, while a softer reading could obviously bring an April rate cut firmly into focus. So our dates right now currently are April, June, July, the summer months. Got Q2 and summer months for potential rate cuts. So if we go over here to the Fed watch tool, we can see what the probabilities are looking like. Probability, 95% obviously March, January 82, April here should be increasing. Got 68% no change. See, June, July is more. You see, the summer months seem to increase 60% easing. Either June or July at 71% as of now. But these numbers are obviously going to change quite dramatically as Trump puts in the new Fed chair. That's going to change these numbers quite dramatically because most likely the guy will be pro rate cuts under Trump's rule. So for now, it looks like we're just looking at June, July, with a potential in April. Because I think by April, Powell should be out, right? We got to go and see when is the next Fed chair going to be elected. The reserves in US. I was kind of hoping like AI would give me that answer quickly. Now I gotta dig in for it. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will have 2 years left on his term as governor when his chairmanship ends in May. So that's up until May? That's the second quarter. Oh, that's why we got the results here June, July at 68% easing, because Powell should be out in May. The second month into the second quarter, right? Then yeah, then June, July seems quite plausible. All right, makes sense, makes sense. But anyway, look out for core PC price index. You know, that's going to be quite important inflation data over there. See how the market operates on a Friday as well. If markets are going to be bullish on Friday from the pre-session time, that's going to be quite interesting. If you can see, we can end off the week strong, basically. Seeing loads of bullish momentum on the weekly already. It'll be nice to end off the week strong with a Friday push on the daily and no retracement. So yeah, since we got core PC price index, that could be also a catalyst to why we're even holding certain ranges here on Goldspot as of right now. But you see, as we're coming down, we got to pay attention. We got this next zone. If it really truly starts to break the zone, if we're seeing some selling pressure here for XY reasons, and we start getting through 48.17, pretty good shot that price will come down, retest some of these lows. That 200 pip area. Maybe we even see a daily bearish closure. A nice little head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Volume kicking in. We might not see 48.40 broken. We might actually see retracements if that's the case. If we're seeing such pushes like this. Crazy 100 pip drop from nowhere. You know, where is this coming from? What kind of sentiment is that giving towards the market? You know, it's giving more like a bearish sentiment. Correct? And we're still coming down. It is 2 minutes 30 seconds. Starting to break below support. Clean traffic. Clean traffic. Down 0.30%. We're about to hit a trending market environment here. Daily bias is about to flip bearish. See, as we're breaking below that zone. See, we just got money in. Look at this. Where this money coming from? Why are people selling right here? Close out my sell by 23 too early. Lol, chickened out. We're gonna sell. Sell that sheet. 1 minute looking clean. Look at this. Beautiful Asia rally over there. You're correct, eh? Clean traffic. Take a shot. Yeah, Mr. Rashid, this is the one I was looking for. This is me sometimes on the market. Yo, this is literally psychology. Right, yeah, this chat psychology. Like, all right, gotta take the shot here. When are we gonna take the shot? Sometimes I don't chat. Sometimes you just have to marvel at the beauty that is the market, correct? Just look at it. Sometimes you don't take the shot. Just paper trade it. Just watch it. What's wrong with just watching it? You know, there's plenty of shots to take. That's not the only shot. There's gonna be an abundance of shots to take. You gotta think of this like, you know how there's so many animals, like so much wildlife? There's so many opportunities here. Right? So many opportunities. That sometimes you can just watch it and do nothing. I'm not yet in, but I think we'll get into cells as well shortly. Yeah, it's doing a break and a retest. It's you see how it's testing this area here, reflips and then comes back down, reflips and breaks these lows. We should be able to see volume come in this specific 5-minute candle, since it's pulling up so much and creating such a top wick. And this has already kind of confirmed like some kind of a break below support. Then if this thing was to reflip and break the lows, it should ideally come down. If it creates a support, then at that point you have to see if price can get through that support right there. $15-minute closed also under support slightly. Let's see, 15-minute, 15, yeah, close exact 15 minutes. So, oh, okay, you could base it off the 15 too. If the 5-minute closes as a support, the 15-minute is still open. 30 minutes about to close. Yeah, but you see it's closing back into the range on the 5. Yeah, 15 looks good. 15 actually does look good. It's coming down. Let's see on the hourly. Hourly's already had just one move. You can see hourly liquidity grab above the highs here. And then it already set up like one move. One move. Distributor, one move. Probably has another move in it. Hourly's about to close in like 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I guess the most ideal thing would be if that hourly closed first, right? Hourly close, you get a new hourly candlestick volume that you can kind of trade, because each of these candles are giving you moves. The way majority of you trade, the way majority of all of us trade is we're actually just catching hourly moves. I don't know if people actually mention that to you, but you're just catching an hourly move, right? Each candle in the hourly time frame will give you a specific amount of pips. Maybe some streamers don't know this, maybe some of them know this, but I'm telling you, what we do is we catch hourly candlesticks, because majority of us are not even in a trade for more than 15 minutes. Most of the time, I don't think there's a streamer out there who's trading for like hours in trades. Most of the time, they're out of a trade within 15 minutes, so they're just catching an hourly. So when you're gonna refine it down to that perspective, you have a different outlook on markets, especially when you start dissecting the hourly time frames. Because it doesn't truly matter so much what's happening all the way back here to what the market currently wants to do. Because, you know, it was in an indecisive phase for a minute, but now it looks like it wants to sell off because we're starting to see more bearish pressure coming in. And we got a new hourly candlestick opening in like 9 minutes. And with that new fresh hourly candle will come fresh opportunities. I know with TFX concepts, each hourly candle should at least give me like 2 trades for each hourly candlestick. And we can even see that. If I dissect the amount of trades which have happened since we started the stream, right? So this was 3 a.m. Eastern. We got a doji on the hourly. So we didn't really get, like, if you're looking for a running trade, you would not have gotten it on that 3 a.m. Eastern open, because it didn't really go anywhere, right? Like a proper bomber clot running trade, where the HTF just runs like a madman, you know, like this, for example, to fill up a range like here. You would not have gotten that, because hourly pushed and then come and retrace. So we can see since London open, we had one sell. That's one setup. That was for the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern. Let's see, 4. No, we had 1 here. We had 2 here. See, break of the low, sell, break of the highest, buy. 2, 3 right here, smaller one, until 4 a.m. So you see, between that range of 1 to 3 at least. Because beyond the third one, it starts to get a bit sketchy, especially if markets have been already trending. You see 1, 2, 3. By the time you're getting your fourth setup, how many times do you think the market's going to pay you out before it needs to liquidity grab something? Right? So the first one's got 3, From 4 a.m. to 5, we're just about coming to 5. We've only had one right here. With SMA crossover, SMA confluence, break of the lows, we've had one. Right? And now new candlestick is opening up in the next hourly. So when you have that perspective to be patient is magnified. Because now you know that from, let's say from here, from 5 a.m. Eastern, all the way up until here, you just need that mental capacity to execute on a play that you can say to yourself, I don't mind losing this trade. Right? So we haven't yet printed that. And it's still going to print it. All right, candlesticks are going to set up, but once we're going to dip into 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., we're going to have at least one play. The hourly is either going to move down and continue to push down and you can get your setup there, or it's going to continue to push upwards and you can get your setup there. Now you also see how direction comes into play with the daily bias and how that can also help you get a much more higher probability of a winning trade. Now, if you have direction in the specific hourly, because one of those two things are going to happen, right? The hourly is either going to push down or is going to push up. So you want to get stuck into where that hourly is most likely going to also potentially close later on. But if you have it like this, you can see it really is not that hard to be patient. Because a lot of time people ask me like, you know, how can I be patient? How can I be patient? This is how you can be patient. Exactly like this when you have this perspective. And hey, if it doesn't come in this first hour, then you just have to now move the goalpost. Just move the goalpost to here. So goalpost now moved. Now you just gotta wait again. Right over here. So your job is just to wait. Wait for this amount of time. Which is really not that long. Because the idea is like in this space, how can you get in and out safely? That's always been the goal of a trader, is how can I get inside of this space in and out safely? Right? But we have to be very critical about that approach, about how we decide to do that. All right? It needs some kind of a structure. See, we're about to come into 5. Look, we're about to come into 5 a.m. You see, it's still printing here. Still printing. We're about to dip into the new hourly. Just need around 5 more 1-minute candles. And then this is going to be a brand new opportunity. You can think of this like as a brand new slate. Clean slate of opportunity. So dipping into it. Because this hourly is already played, right? Did we take... looks like it's setting up to range. If we check Trump roll call, he said something at the exact same time price had a sell. Roll call is just his schedule though for meetings. Let's say something on Twitter. Hey, Trump's got a gray badge. What is this? This account's verified because it's a government. Oh, Montreal. Oh, it's okay. It's a government badge, I guess. I thought Elon Musk would just give him like a gray badge, you know? I'd just be like, hey, Elon, give me a purple badge. Trump didn't say... Wait, this dude hasn't tweeted in... Wait, what is this? Trump hasn't tweeted since December 24th. Let me check his replies. This guy has not tweeted since December 24th. And the roll call here is Thursday. So what is Trump? President Trump deports. It's at 4:30 a.m. White House, Davos Congress Center, Switzerland. Oh, okay. So is he speaking? You're speaking at 4:30. Pre-credential media. And then the move happened here at 4:32. Oh, okay. So he was speaking, right? He was somewhere speaking. But we didn't get any notifications on what he said. Usually we typically get those notifications what he said. Or maybe it was just a move because he was speaking. Maybe it was just some kind of like risk control or something. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like he was speaking over here. Hey, nice one, Omosh. See if we can actually find it. Maybe it's not been streamed, right? Most likely not been streamed. Event will start at 4:30 a.m. Trump busy eating kittens. Where is Putin? Yeah, possibly the talks haven't yet started. But this is it. This is probably the live event here. Trump unveils his board of peace at Davos. Oh man, peace. If he's gonna unveil his board of peace, that means gold is gonna sell today. We might see gold on the daily time frame actually close bearish. If Trump is gonna is rolling out his board of peace at Davos. Apparently he's come to a deal already. So from the last I saw about this whole thing about Greenland, apparently they've come to some kind of a deal. So we're gonna see what that's gonna be about here today. Man, and you see, this is not even scheduled. You know, the crazy part is, this is not even scheduled on the Forex Factory. But later, you're gonna see an orange folder appear, say USD, Trump speaks. But you see, as of right now, you can't see it. So you're not going to know when you're doing your fundamental work. You know, unless you come up over here to his roll call. And then you can see, okay, so this is what he's going to be doing here today. So yeah, I think that's why we saw that sell-off. That's true. Nail on the head, as they say. And yeah, later on today, that clean range that we're looking at, most likely going to get mopped up as well. It is most likely going to get mopped up here. You can see it on the 15-minute a lot more clean. 15-minute. We already tested it. You see, we already like dipped our toes in there. You know, I think that's what the market was doing. Is before you jump in, you know, like before you jump into a swimming pool, you're going to dip your toe, right? You're going to dip your toe and say, oh, okay, so how's the water filling over there? We got some liquidity. We got some orders in. So I think that's what we did. Now we're waiting on this board of peace event here to start. Looks like there's people in there already. People are waiting. We're waiting for Trump to come in. Man, there's a lot of people in there. He's claiming to have a framework for a deal. Yeah, now we gotta deal with this. We gotta deal with this piece. Gold's gotta deal with this piece. Because you know, gold rallies are just much more predictable than peace. Whenever it's peace, it's not now you're gonna get like a sell rally, right? You're gonna get more of a consolidation. When there's peace, it's more of like, okay, so back to neutral playing field. But when there's no peace, then bullish, straight bullish. That's the thing. That is the thing about the market. Is literally gonna set the tone for the rest of the day. I think that's why Goldie is ranging like this. It's stuck in this overall range. We're waiting to see, and that's why the daily's fluctuating quite a lot there towards a doji, because we're waiting to get the tone of the day here set based off this event. So it's quite interesting, really, when you look at that psychology. You know, when you kind of paint that picture onto how the candlesticks are printing based off of what is being expected or what's currently going on, then you really dig into the hive mind of what this or what these candlesticks here are meaning to do. You see a lot of waiting, but in between the waiting, of course, you know, there's going to be a few setups here and there for sure, as we already broke down the hourly candlesticks and how many setups that there were. Now we just got the new hourly candlestick. It's going to have its own setups. So every hourly candlestick will give you, you know, a kind of a probability of you're going to get a winning or a losing trade. So this hourly candlestick, either going to be the first setup's going to be a winning trade or a losing trade. Your job is not to be too hung up on whether that's going to be a loss or a win. Your job is to be consistent. Because if you have that consistent approach, then, you know, then it doesn't really matter from a trade to trade perspective. But you see the new hourly, it's going to be setting up structure here quite soon on the 1 minute. We still haven't gotten any setups yet on this hourly. It still needs to set up. So you see, like, when you actually like put the pieces out together like that, then you realize that trading is really not that bad. Like, your bad days don't really have to be so bad. You know, once you understand the value of, remember I showed you like the vertical lines of, let's see if I'm taking a trade from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and trying to catch this hourly candlestick. And your job is just to be consistent from here to here with whatever strategy or approach you're using in the market. From here to here. Execute on that. Awesome. Make the best possible decision that you can make. And you only got to do that maybe once or twice a day. Not bad. Not bad. Most of the time, just waiting. That's it. Every day, you just have to make 1 or 2 good decisions a day. But broken down in small chunks, like small time chunks. So even the best example I can show you was that recent post that we did of this. Right? So that's my perspective and outlook on market. So on this chunk, I have to make the best possible decision on this chunk and on this chunk. So you don't want to have it all together like this, because some of you are trading all together like this. Your perspective is going more into the day like this. Then from this session, you're gonna go jump on another session, and then another session, and continuously on the chart. But break down like this, trying to catch 1 hour here, trying to catch 1 hour here, 1 hour candle, and trying to catch 1 hour candle. That's it. See, actually just made the money back. It took a sell. Took a loss in gold sells pre-London. Hey, when is the show gonna start? It's already been 30 minutes. This was meant to start 30 minutes ago. Got Trump powdering his nose in there. Where's everybody? Is this live? Yeah, this is live. It has around how many people does it got here? It's got about 1,856 people watching. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It starts now.
The Minister of the Prime Minister's Court of the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Y'all can hear it? Sorry, Discord. Discord wouldn't let me share audio. Well, I could share the audio, but the music is gonna be incredibly loud.
Morocco. The President of the Argentine Republic.
Donald J. Trump weighing in at 80 kgs. We got the Donald infamous Trump.
Of the Republic of Azerbaijan.
Oh, Azerbaijan. That's an Asian country next to Russia, I think. Not a lot of people know that country.
The Prime Minister of the Republic of Bulgaria.
Azerbaijan. I think it's a Muslim country as well. Muslim majority.
Hungary.
They're saving the best for last. Donald J. Trump.
The President of the Republic of Indonesia.
Shout out, shout out, shout out.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and expatriates of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The President of the Republic of Kosovo. The Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The President of the Republic of Paraguay.
Just waiting to see Trump walk in. Waddle in, actually.
The Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar.
Is he gonna sit here? Who sits in the middle?
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of
Goldie's
Saudi
gonna dump
Arabia.
today. Goldie's gonna dump. We're most likely just waiting on these talks. Trump is gonna say something and price is gonna start coming down here.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey.
I think the market was also kind of baiting in early sellers, right? People would think like gold's gonna sell. It probably went to trigger them in, trigger in positions and like hold them in drawdown. It might have done that too. It's like perfect dip below that support by 48.16.
The Republic of Uzbekistan.
Hey, Uzbekistan. Let's go.
The Prime Minister of Mongolia.
Is this live? Yeah, this is live. Now, the one you've all been waiting for. The President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. The tension, you can feel it. Just goes quiet now. Then you hear the American theme song play. So Americans, they think like the whole world is just America, you know? They gotta live like in a small bubble here. Most Americans have that not like hating or anything, but most Americans are a little oblivious to the rest of the world. The rest of the world...
The Chairman of the Board of Peace, the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
He said it differently for Trump. He said it. Look, everybody standing up now. He said it differently for Trump. Let's see him waddle in now. Waddle, waddle. Yeah, everybody got to stand up. Show your respect. Told you, there's no one more gangster than Trump right now on the whole planet. So the fact that Jerome Powell stood up to this guy, man, awesome.
Well, this is a very exciting day. Long in the making. And many countries...
Here comes gold. You see this happen. Boom.
Everybody wants to be a part of it. And we'll work with many others, including the United Nations. But I want to thank you all for being here. Yesterday, we had a incredibly successful visit with many of the world's top business leaders, the best, the biggest, most successful, and foreign heads of state. And
these guys need to change that microphone. That microphone sounds like trash. I remember hearing it on Instagram,
is known as the Board
and it sounds
of Peace.
Trash.
I want to thank the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, and their extraordinary work. I mean, they've done an amazing job. We have peace in the Middle East. Nobody thought that was possible.
Peace in the Middle East.
We've settled 8 wars, and I believe another one's coming pretty soon. You know what that is? The one that I thought was going to be an easy one. It's turned out to be probably the most difficult. Last month, 29,000 people died, mostly soldiers. Ukraine, Russia.
Oh, I thought he was talking about
29,000, 27,000 in the month before, 26,000 in the month before that. It's terrible. But we have meetings and we think we're making a lot of progress. Thanks as well to Secretaries Scott Bessent, Howard Lutnick, and Chris Wright, U.S. Trade Representative, Jamieson Greer. They're all doing such an incredible job. Ambassador Callista Gingrich, who is here, doing a fantastic, really fantastic work. Thank you, Callista. And many other members of my administration who are so committed to peace, and they're also committed to great success. Very importantly, let me recognize the very first group of distinguished members of the Board of Peace. They will be introduced.
I wonder which hands he already shaked here.
Moment. Caroline will be doing that introduction. And to each and every one of you, we are truly honored by your presence today. Leaders of countries, in most cases, very popular leaders. Some cases, not so popular, but that's the way it goes in life. Thanks as well to President Karol Nawrocki of Poland, who's a fantastic man. He just won a very big election. I'm very proud of him.
Gold is not doing anything right now. It actually looks like a shotgun plate to the upside on gold. Just broke above resistance on the 5.
Along with
this could be the first setup of the Audi
United
candle,
Kingdom,
actually.
Tony Blair. Thank you, Tony, for being here. We appreciate it. And members of the Board of Peace Executive Board, great group. This week marks the 1-year anniversary of my second inauguration as president. No administration in history has achieved such a sweeping turnaround in 12 months' time at home and abroad. We have a tremendous mandate. We won the popular vote by millions. We won every swing state to 7. They were saying, can you win all 7? Is it possible? Because it's not done. And we won all 7. We have a great mandate back at home. As I said yesterday, the U.S. economy is booming with virtually no inflation. It was 1.2% for the last 3 months. And we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we have
people are saying lies, 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 scumbag, Epstein,
and I think
lies, Assad, F Trump, liar. Whoa, man, look at this chat's going off on Trump here.
Numbers, the markets go up.
Like 4,000 people watching.
Goes down because everybody tries to kill it by lowering or raising interest rates depending on the situation.
Let's type, where will
America
gold
booms, the entire
go?
world booms. And we have secured commitments for
XAUUSD
over $18 trillion in new investment coming into our country, which is a record by many times over, not just by a little bit, by many times. There's no country ever in history that's gotten anywhere near that number. Slashed our trade deficit by $77 This is in 1 year. Yesterday was 1 year. And signed historic trade deals with nations from all over the globe. Today, the world is richer, safer, and much more peaceful than it was just 1 year ago. We put out all those fires. A lot of people didn't know, including me, that some of those wars were going on. And some of them were going on for, in one case, 32 years, in another case, 35 years, and another one, 37 years. We were very happy to stop the war that had started.
What's that? Wait, this was yesterday? No, this is happening here. You see, 4:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m.
Prime Minister of Pakistan said
This is the pre-presidential media, right? This is what's happening right now.
By getting that
Davos,
stopped just before
January
bad
22nd.
things were going to happen.
And it's live, man. There's
President
4,000
I
people
ended
watching. Why would
those 8 wars
4,000
in
people be
9
watching a
months.
rerun?
Including Cambodia and Thailand. And by the way, many of the leaders are here. Kosovo and Serbia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia. We're working on that right now.
Yeah, Goldie's shotgun play is playing out.
Yesterday with
This is the first setup of the
a very
Auli.
good general and a very good leader of Egypt.
It's just filling up this
We're
range.
working on a dam that was built, which precludes the
From here to
Nile
here,
River
small
from
little
getting water.
range.
It's a little tough situation.
There's about a 46
But,
pip range.
we'll get
It
that
just peaked
settled.
20
I
pips.
really had it just about settled in my first term, and then we had a
Well, we're waiting for him
rigged
to say
election.
something
It
about
took me out of
peace, right?
commission for a little while, but here I am back. We'll get it settled.
Board of peace. I don't think Gold likes to see
But
this
it's a
board of
pretty
peace
tough
sign here.
situation. A dam was built, and the water doesn't come down to the Nile. When I think of Egypt, I think of the Nile, but I think of the Nile with water in it. Armenia and Azerbaijan, who, I mean, a lot of
Shout out
these leaders have become my friends.
Azerbaijan.
They've become
Anybody
my
from
friends. They're here.
Azerbaijan here in the
And
chat?
of course, the war in Gaza, which is really coming to an end. We have little fires that we'll put out, but they're little. They were giant, massive fires, and now they're down to little fires, so we can put them out very easily. We have 59 countries that are involved in peace in the Middle East. Many of them not in the Middle East. They're near the Middle East, but they're not in the Middle East. And many have said that
Holy
if
markets.
Hamas
How many times does Trump say
doesn't
Middle
do what
East?
they promised they would do. And I
1
think
to
they
5 risk reward if it says it.
probably will, but they were
4
born
plus
with rifles
times.
in their hands. They were literally born. The first day they had a rifle put into their hands, but they have to give up their weapons. And if they don't do that, it's going to be the end of them. But many countries have told me we want to go in and do it, and they really aren't countries that you traditionally think of as being involved in that. But that's a fire. Hezbollah in Lebanon, we have to do something about that. But these are, I call them remnants. They're small remnants compared to what it was before. It was massive, large, powerful countries fighting each other. In another great victory for the ultimate goal of peace in June, we obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity.
He's just warming them up, you know. He's warming them up.
We call it Operation
Before he
Midnight
says
Hammer.
something.
It was midnight, it was dark, no moon, and every single one of those bombs
just
from the
warming them
B-2
up.
bombers hit the air shafts and went deep into the earth and totally obliterated everything that they were doing. They were 2 months away from having a nuclear
Cell is
weapon.
coming
Can't
in.
let that happen.
What's going on here, Goldie?
And
I saw you
Iran
slip.
does want to talk.
I saw you slip.
And we'll talk. We've also hit ISIS in Syria.
It's
And
about to be very
strongly, as you
volatile, I
know,
think.
In my first administration, I took out al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS, and he was trying to start it up again because due to the tremendous talent of
From the Middle East, they took out
terrorism
Saddam
gangs,
Hussein, and when they took out Saddam Hussein, ISIS just took
he
his
wiped
spot.
out ISIS in a period of 3 weeks. In my
If you
first
take out
term.
ISIS,
We had a
there's just
great
going to be
first
somebody
term,
else.
But the second term is, I think, blowing it away, actually.
They took out Saddam Hussein like it was such a
But
great
we,
achievement.
took out
Man,
ISIS and
it wasn't even that long
Yet,
that ISIS then
it
was
It was
formed.
gone, but during the Biden administration, it
Might
formed
even
again a little bit.
arguably have been
We hit it
worse
very hard in Syria. And
situation.
Syria, by the way, I spoke with the president, is making a lot of progress, tremendous progress, actually. We're very happy about that.
You
We
should have
took off all
negotiated with the
sanctions,
devil
which
you know,
gives them a
because
chance
ISIS
to
is like the devil you
breathe.
don't.
And he is working very, very hard, and I think he's going to put it all together. So many things are happening, many good things. Threats to Europe and America, the Middle East, and other places are really calming down. It's a lot different than it was just 1 year ago. Just 1 year ago, the world was actually on fire. A lot of people didn't know it. And in Nigeria, we're annihilating terrorists who are killing Christians. We've hit them very hard. They've killed thousands and thousands of Christians. What's that all about? Much of this unprecedented
Trump, what is that all
success
about?
is possible because I rebuilt our military in my first term, and now we're making it even stronger. We have a budget of over $1 trillion this year, and next year we're going to 1.5 trillion. Our country's never done better economically. We're taking in numbers that we've never taken in, not only the fact that the investment is at 18 trillion plus, but our jobs numbers,
Sheesh.
everything is, I think, maybe better than ever before. I think you're going to see a lot of you are investing in our country. I think you're going to be extremely happy with your investments. I think you'll see numbers like you haven't seen before. I also secured commitments from virtually all NATO allies to increase
I like the way Trump talks,
their
though.
defense
That's quite
spending
positive.
to 5% of GDP. Everybody but Spain. I don't know what's happening with Spain. Why would they not do that? They want a free ride, I guess, huh? Every country but Spain increased to 5%. I don't know why. We're going to have to talk to Spain. With
Spain needs
America's
whips.
renewed attention to security of the Western Hemisphere, I've stopped the invasion on our southern border and designated the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And you probably saw that we've virtually stopped almost 100% all drugs coming in by water. And now we're going to stop them on land. The land is easy. The
Wow.
water is tough.
Almost 100%. Oh, he said
Down
100%?
now. I heard it just last night. It was 97. Now it's 98.1%. And we're trying to figure out who are the 2% that are willing to get into those boats. I don't think they watch television or the news. But we've taken out almost 100% of all of the drugs coming into the United States by water. And
Look at these leaders. Look at the way the leaders just sitting here, man.
We wanted to wait till the other was taken care
This
of.
is
And
Trump.
earlier this month, thanks to the unrivaled skill, power, and might
That's
of
actually
the
kind of
US
mad.
military. We have the most powerful military
You
in the
can
world
just
by
feel the
far.
alphaness, the aura in
We
the room.
captured the outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro, and the people of Venezuela are very happy about it. And we're having great relationships.
But Trump
with
is what
the
America kind of needs, to be
leaders of-
honest.
the new leaders
Because the
of
other presidents were a bit of
Venezuela. The
pushovers, you
relationships
know.
have been good.
Barack
We're
Obama
opening
walks
up the
in, hey,
country
everybody.
to our
Everybody,
giant oil
how's everybody doing
companies.
here today? You know, everybody loves Barack
It's going
Obama.
very well. We've already taken out.
But you got a leader who, you know, you got to
50
fear as well if you want like a
million
proper
barrels
leader.
of
Someone
oil.
who can lead, but,
And a lot of
you know,
that's
you,
going to go back to Venezuela.
you're either going to be
They'll
liked
do
or you
more
get things done, you know.
income with us in a short period of time.
People are either
than
going
they
to
did
like
in
you or you're
years.
going to get things done, even in your
Because as much oil
workplaces.
as they have, and they have a
You're either
lot,
going to be a
just about
liked
the
person or you
most.
get things done,
After
right?
us, there's a couple of countries that are in that category, but we have the most, actually, and they're second between Venezuela and us. We have 62% of the world's oil, but they have very little production, so they'll have a lot of production. All the oil companies, we had meetings, you probably saw all the oil companies want to go in. They want to go in immediately. They're already touring the sites. But our military was amazing. That strike was amazing. We had a second wave coming. We didn't need it. They said, no second wave. We don't want a second wave. The first wave was enough. And of course, we're working to end the horrible killing in Ukraine, a war that should never have happened.
Gold should start selling off.
And
Come
would
on,
have
Goldie,
never
sell off.
happened if I were president. That was not going to happen. I used to speak to Vladimir Putin about Ukraine, and it was the apple of his eye, but he would never have ever done it. Said, you can't do that, Vladimir. As part of this historic record of major peace initiatives, today we're announcing more details regarding the Board of Peace, so important. This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they came, they said, you be the chairman. And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people.
See, gold is not really
and
going anywhere. It's just
incredible
holding this general zone
young
here.
people that are,
It did a small little 20
leading
pip
it
move
from
on the
within.
shotgun, then retraced.
it's running beautifully.
That was one
Started
setup on the
already.
Auli.
And every country, just
1 minute
about
right now
every
is not
country
setting up
wants to be a
anything.
part of it.
It's chopping a little bit. You can see a little of the
we just sent
wickage.
out the letters a
A little
couple
of the
of
wick
days
here,
ago.
here.
This is just the countries that
As
are
Trump
here.
is speaking.
They happen to be in Davos. So we said, would be honored if you wanted to join us.
Dallas is in
up on
Dallas,
the
like a
stage.
place with zero tax in America.
And it's really
And Merck,
great.
it's where all the
Friends of mine.
warehouses are.
Let me see.
Warehouses for import, export.
Yeah, every one of them is a friend
There you
of
got
mine.
like zero tax or something like
A
that.
couple, let's see, a couple I like, a couple I don't like.
Couple I don't like.
Actually, this group, I
Dude,
like every
Trump is a
single one of them. Can
savage.
you believe it? Usually I have about 2 or 3 that I can't stand.
Oh my
Usually I have
days.
2 or 3 that I don't like. I don't find them up here. I like every one of these people. No, they're great people. They're great leaders.
Look at these
And
lemmings.
The Board of Peace is composed of leaders, the top leaders in the world, actually. Last October, we released a plan for the permanent end to the conflict in Gaza, and I'm pleased to say
Dude,
that
I wonder
our
who those
vision
2 or
was
3 people are.
unanimously adopted by the United Nations Security Council.
I love everybody here, but you know, 2 or 3 people here, I don't like them very
We
much.
have painstakingly maintained that Gaza, and we're going to have it very strongly, and it's what we have. Maintained the Gaza ceasefire, delivered record levels of humanitarian aid. We've given aid. You know, you used to hear all the people were starving and it was terrible. Now we have, you don't hear that anymore. We've delivered record levels of humanitarian aid. I want to thank the United States, but I want to thank some of the countries that are sitting right up here, because they've sent great aid, aid also in the form of money, where we go out and purchase food, and you don't hear those stories anymore with people starving. And secured the release of all 20, you know, we secured the release of all 20 living hostages. Now I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared and everybody for working so hard.
I don't like the fact that Forex Factory does not warn people about these events.
Hostages. Now we got hundreds out.
You see,
But the
like
last
right now,
20,
you
I
don't
said,
see
boy, that's
anything,
gonna be a
right?
tough one.
President
They
Trump
said that a
speaks.
year
You don't see it
before.
here for Thursday,
And it was a
Forex
tough
Factory.
one,
But
we
if
got
I
all
refresh the
20,
page,
every one of
it
them.
may come up.
And we had also
Let's try refresh Thursday.
about 28,
Thursday,
we're dead.
they still haven't put it.
but the parents wanted them just
I don't know why they
just
always
as much.
they never put this event.
Some cases it almost seemed more.
These kind of
It
events.
amazing, actually, the love and
They'll put it later
their
after the
boy
fact.
had been killed in just about all cases, young men. Their baby, their boy had been
So you got to
killed,
come
and
over
they
here
wanted
to
the
his roll
body of
call
the
to
boy,
actually
and,
see what he's gonna do for the day.
It looked like it couldn't be done, and with the exception of one, and we're close on the track of that. We've got them all, every single
And
one
Trading
of
View,
them.
if you're listening, you know,
which is
also a
amazing.
nice little update here
That's
would
a
be
rough
nice.
job. That was a
This
rough
last
job.
update was 2 hours ago.
And I've been very clear that
2 hours
Hamas
ago here, Dow Jones Newswire.
must return that last remaining deceased hostage as well, and that will be the full commitment. And then we get on to other things.
Maybe you're gonna go on
And
Financial
we're committed
Juice,
to
push
ensuring
notifications
Gaza
on the
is
Discord. Trump, Board of Peace will work
demilitarized, properly
with the
governed,
United
and
Nations.
beautifully rebuilt.
These are
It's
the
gonna be a great
statements that
plan,
he's
and that's
making.
where the Board of Peace really started, and I think we can spread out to other things as we succeed with Gaza.
So it should
We're
go
gonna Be
down.
very successful in Gaza. It's going to be a great thing to watch, and we can do other things. We can do numerous other things. Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do, and we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations. You know, I've always said the United Nations has got
Trump
tremendous
himself controls
potential.
release of funds
Has
from
not used it.
Venezuela.
But there's tremendous potential in the United Nations, and you have some great people at the United Nations. But so far it hasn't. You know, on the 8 wars that I ended, I never spoke to the United Nations about any of them. And you would think that I should have. You would think they could have done those 8 wars, but they couldn't have. And they tried, I guess, in some of them, but they didn't try hard enough. But there's tremendous potential with the United Nations. And I think the combination of the Board of Peace with the kind of people we have here, coupled with the United Nations, can be, you know, something very, very unique for the world. It's for the world. This isn't United States. This is for the world. As everyone can see today, the first steps toward
this guy
a
does not
brighter
look
day
happy.
for
Why
the
is he so-
Middle East and a much safer
guy
future
again.
for the world are unfolding right before
Vladimir
your very
Putin.
eyes. Together
Where is
we
Vladimir
are-
Putin? He should
are
be
in a
sitting right here.
position to have an incredible chance. I don't even call it a chance. I think it's going to happen. to end decades of suffering, stop generations of hatred and bloodshed, and forge a beautiful,
Like literally, the only
everlasting, and
presidents who can
glorious
actually have an
peace
aura effect in this
for
room
that
is
region
literally
and for
Trump
the
and
whole
Putin.
region
Those are the only two world, President
the
Xi as well.
world, because I'm calling the world a region.
Maybe the South
world
Korea
is a
guy too.
region. We're gonna have peace in the
But like
world.
they're the only ones
And
gonna
boy,
walk
would that
into
be a
this room with
great
aura, you know.
legacy for all of us. Everybody in this room.
A lot of
is a
politicians
star.
are like puppets.
Well, you wouldn't be here. There's a reason that you're here.
Is this live?
And you're all
Yes.
stars. You're the biggest people, the most important people in the world, most powerful people in the world. And when you use that genius that you have, that very unusual, very inspired genius, when you use that for peace, the opposite of peace has no chance. So I just want to say it's tremendous to be with you, and I think this is something that we're doing that's very important. This is the most important. I was so looking forward to being here, and yesterday was a tremendous success. A lot of good things happened, but this was something that I really wanted to be here and do, and I could think of no better place because so many people were together. And now to bring the Board of Peace into full force, I ask Sheikh Isa of Bahrain and Foreign Minister Barita of Morocco to join me in signing and ratifying the Board of Peace Charter. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Whips. Gold's not gonna do anything. What are they signing here? He's not talking about Greenland. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna talk anything that can make it move. Someone's looking at TradingView here on his phone. I saw a guy's chart. Someone's looking at chart work. There's a guy in there trading. Believe me, all it takes is for him to say crazy things for gold to move 1,000 pips. Okay. He was reading a script.
Congratulations, President Trump. The charter is now in full force, and the Board of Peace is now an official international organization.
Boo.
We will now continue the signing ceremonies, beginning with the President of Argentina and the Prime Minister of Armenia.
Armenia in the house. Alright, so Chad, does that mean like gold is going to move down? Gold is most likely it's already moving up right now.
Minister of the Republic of
I
Bulgaria.
think gold's going to move up then. It's going to consolidate here. We have core PC price index coming up during the York session. So it's most likely waiting for that. But we're in a big accumulation. Sells is still valid below this low though by 48.13. You see now price is starting to move again. You see it's like waking up too. It's waking up too from this area. It looks like it's safe for it to move. You see it's like crossing the road over here. It's got to cross the road from this high, this is where the shotgun play started from, to this resistance. Right? So you see now it's looking safe to cross the road. So prices starting to move up here.
Thank you. Next, the Prime Minister of Hungary and the President of the Republic of Indonesia.
Trump stopped taking Elon Musk anywhere because Elon was, he would always say really random stuff, Elon. In the beginning, he used to go everywhere with Elon. But like Elon and Trump, it doesn't demand as much respect as when these other people are next to Trump. Like, you can feel the tension in the room in a sense. Like, you're not buddy buddies, you know?
Of the Republic of Kazakhstan.
As much as you even might want to be buddy buddies, like, you can't be buddy buddies with everybody. All right, so they're signing this deal, Board of Peace, which is not having any effect on the market. I think we were mainly waiting when this event here finishes, and Trump for sure is not going to say anything about Greenland. Then I think gold will be more in a place to have some kind of a decent price action.
The
President,
you know? Of the Republic of Kosovo and the Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Pakistan. If you could read lips, you would know what they were saying. It's probably what hedge funds are doing right now. Hedge fund institutions have those softwares or they have those interpreters. Because they always got to know every single detail that's been done, you know? They also got body language specialists, especially when Powell speaks.
That's it. Yes. Thank you.
President of Argentina would like to see him speak.
Next, the President of the Republic of Paraguay and the Prime Minister of the State of Qatar.
Gold 10K at the end of American Empire in dollar. Maybe they told him the world is dumping USD, please slow down. Let's actually see. Dollar should be... Let's see what dollar is doing. I haven't looked at the DXY in a while. Still holding 100. Daily candles bearish. Yeah, dollar's holding artificially. It's holding artificially 100. It's waiting for a comeback. You know, on the dollar, you're going to see more of like consolidation reversal play below 100.
Next,
but only if we break above this high.
Saudi Arabia and the Minister of
So
Foreign Affairs
dollar is still
of the
holding
Republic
quite
of
artificially.
Turkey.
Man, if we end up breaking these lows, it should be curtains for gold. I mean for DXY, the dollar index. If we break below like 96. See, right now it's holding artificially, right? But holding artificially, we have rate cuts due in June, July. So I think the best case scenario for DXY is if it gets us break above here, fills some of this range, and when those rate cuts come in, it wouldn't be so bad. Rather than just like sit here for till this on the monthly time frame. Rather than sit here till June, July when we potentially get rate cuts. Because if it breaks these lows, it's curtains, you know. At that point we could be coming down quite heavy. Coming down towards support here by 89. See, it's a very important mark the dollar is in. It's in a very delicate situation. The US dollar overall is in a very, very delicate situation as we move towards de-dollarization. Very delicate, hanging by a thread over here, you know. That's why Trump is also in a very... It's like he's in a hot seat right now too. Because he's always mentioning these things that he's, as most politicians do, that they get from previous administrations and why the challenges are so big, etc., etc. And you can see where the dollar is. It's not sitting in a very comfortable position right now. It's not holding the cards, as Trump likes to say. It's like those, it's literally like these. This is what the dollar is right here. Let's see if I can find it.
And last but not least, the Prime Minister of Mongolia.
Mongolian Empire. Genghis Khan. Yeah, this is a dollar. This is literally DXY right here. This is DXY. This is the US economy right now. You know, so we're going to see how this plays out. We're going to see how Trump's going to play out under this pressure over here of acquiring Greenland and what kind of a tone that's going to set moving forward. But this is the US economy right here with the dollar index holding that 100 level.
Congratulations, everyone.
So we're going to see if we can
the
save
signing
it.
ceremony. If President Trump and all of the Board of Peace members could please join the president around the table. The president is now going to sign the inaugural resolution that will resolve the Board of Peace's Gaza mandate per the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2803.
Up like Donald Trump.
Congratulations. If President Trump and all Board of Peace members could please take their seats in the front. Now it is my honor to introduce the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who will speak about President Trump.
I used to want to work in the UN. It's the reason why I did social
Secretary Rubio.
sciences. I always wanted to work in the UN. I always been part of these MSMUN as well. You know, like in high school, we have like a miniature version of this basically. So we actually go to the United Nations and we have debates. We all get our countries and we have to debate like as if we're doing like in real life like this. And then I found trading. I was like, you know what, I think I make a lot of money here, so let me just focus on this.
And he's willing to talk to or engage with anyone in the interest of peace. Always putting the American
Yeah, but I
people
think
and our national security
I think that's
first,
it.
but understanding
I
that
don't
in the
think
world
there's
that we share
anything
with
else
so
here.
many others, peace is paramount to all of us. We are here today because of President Trump's vision. If we go back just a few months ago, people thought what was happening in Gaza was
That's called
impossible
Model
to solve.
United Nations.
28 hostages that were dead, others that were still living. All these hostages that were being
So that
held.
would
No one
model you
thought
for
that
the
that would ever
United
come to a
Nations.
resolution without more fighting and more bloodshed along
Pretty
the way.
nice
In
place to
fact,
meet girls too.
frankly, many thought it was intractable.
So if you're in high school and you got
sadly,
that
many
club,
of the
you got to join that club.
institutions that have served us well in many cases for the last 70 years were unable to do anything about it. But President Trump had the vision and the courage
Big ass signature.
to dream the impossible, to believe that it was doable.
I wonder
and
if
to
you can
pursue it with
replicate
all
his
his heart.
signature. I had to change my
And he was
signature
in-
because one
in
time I was
that
trying to get money
capacity,
out of the
assisted
bank
by
and I
an
couldn't get my
extraordinary
money out of
team,
the
and I
bank
think
because the
both
lady
Jared,
said my signature was not correct.
And Steve deserve a
And I
tremendous
couldn't
amount of credit.
replicate it
Jared
like
Kushner and
perfectly.
Steve Witkoff for all the work
So I
they
had
put in.
to design a signature that was
And all of
easy
our
to
partners here
replicate.
today. And now we have this board of
Because
peace,
most people's signatures
who I
are just
believe
like they have a hand
possibilities are
spasm, right? They go like,
Obviously, with a focus first and foremost
and then that's
on
your
making sure
signature.
that this
So
peace
that's
deal
how
in
my
Gaza
signature used to be.
becomes enduring.
I start like this, and
I
they
know
go
this
like,
president
ugh.
has it as his highest priority.
So it's like sometimes it
And
would
we'll
look
do
the
everything he
same, but
has to make
sometimes
sure
it
that
would
this
like
is
be slightly a bit off.
I
Like,
also
you know,
want to
maybe the
acknowledge
circle here would be like a little bit
extraordinary
thinner.
leaders that are here today. This is not just a board of peace, this is a board of action. Just like President Trump is a president of action. A lot of times people like to give speeches. I've been to many of these forums, and they're not useless, and they're not, they have utility in many cases. But oftentimes in international affairs, we often find ourselves at events where people are reading these scripted statements.
Don't make
these
UN about
strongly
girls,
worded
please.
letters that they
Bro,
put out
the
with
girls
no action.
in Model
Nothing
United
happens.
Nations, because, you
This
know,
is a
that's
group
like
of
place where
leaders
all
that
the
are about
schools meet
action.
up.
And the
So you
President
get
of the United States is
all
a
the
president
schools,
of
all the
action,
posh
of
schools
getting
as well,
things done.
all those people, and
And
most of the
today is the
girls
beginning
there,
of
the
that,
pretty
of a
girls are the
new
ones who
era
are super
and a new
organized.
stage that we
If you
think
want to be
is so
successful in
important as a model
university,
to the rest of the
make
world
friends
of
with the
what's
pretty
possible.
girls. The
And clearly
pretty
the
girls
focus is
are the
right
ones
now
who
on
get
Gaza,
shit
making
done.
sure that the plan that's
They're
about
the
to be
ones you're going to
presented
see
to
in
you
Model
here
United
today,
Nations
this
and, you know,
vision
also in
for the future
classrooms
of
are getting
Gaza,
stuff done over there.
This vision for the future of the region
Make
is
friends with
not just
all the pretty
possible and
girls.
promising. It is our destiny if we put the time and the effort that it requires, as I know this board will do. But I also think it will serve as an example of what's possible in other parts of the world. without losing focus on what's before us now.
Only one girl
This
here
is
though.
what's possible for other places and other conflicts that seem
One
impossible
lady.
to solve right now.
One lady.
So I want to, on behalf of the United States, on behalf of the team that worked so hard on this, thank every single one of the leaders that are here
You have
today
Discord?
and all the countries that
Yes.
have committed to joining, and many others who are
Got
going to
Discord
join.
here.
You know,
This is the
others,
best
either
London
not in
session
town
Discord
today, or they
that
have
you're
to
ever
go
going to
through some
find.
procedure internally
We
in
have
their own
so many
country,
channels,
in their
got
own
so much
country
information
because
over
of
here. I think it's
constitutional
really good.
limitations, but others will join. Many want to be a part of this effort because it is going to be a successful effort. And you see it reflected here today among countries of different backgrounds from different parts of the world, majority Christian, some, majority Muslim, others, who've come together. In fact, former adversaries who have joined here as part of this Board of Peace. And all was possible, and I want to acknowledge this again, because of the vision and the drive of the President of the United States. So thank you all for joining us here today. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Secretary Rubio. Please, if you could now turn your attention to the screens for a video message from the head of the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, Dr. Ali Shaith.
Distinguished leaders, colleagues, and friends, it is an honor to be here today. I want to start by...
Do you think Trump could replicate that signature like on a real talk? Like, look at his signature. Look at that. There's no way he can go to a bank and do that exactly the way he just did it right there. There's no way. What is this? Like, how do you even... That's a wild signature. You see, that's what I mean. It looks like hand spasms. Most people's signatures look like they're having a hand spasm like this. But I put a fake signature. Like, the thing about signatures, you also got to be very careful with your signature that you don't put your signature everywhere. You know, when you go to some estates, they're going to require you to write your name and put your signature. Man, never put your real signature on those books because they don't have security measures in place to protect that data. So you can go and, like, you know, put the hand spasm in there. But never put, like, whenever I go to these places where it require like some kind of entrance signature or whatever, when they need information, I always use a fake signature because they never have security measures in place to protect that signature. Even when you go to the gym, like if you go to the gym and you sign up and you're writing your name and everything, never use your real signature. But yeah, anyway, chat, I think that's it. Doesn't seem like that's really going to be moving markets over here. Seeing as that event's already coming to the tail end. And as of gold right now is ranging. We're stuck inside a range, which is about 248 pips. There are buy opportunities above here by 48.39, which is going to be about 108 pip range. And the sells below here too. That's about 190 pip range down towards support. But you could potentially get away with a few trades within this section here because there is loads of room to move from here to here. That's about like 250. It's accumulating because we got core PCE during the New York session. And if we go on core PCE, we're what are we doing? We have unemployment claims, which we're expecting an increase, which should be bad for the dollar. We have core PCE, which is coming out as neutral potentially. So we don't really have much sentiment regarding that right now. But yeah, I think as of gold PA, you probably most likely just be catching trades within these two areas over here. You can see the volume is kind of slow, right? You have so many 5-minute candlesticks closed within this area, and we're not getting those pushes like we were like previously like this. So volume is kind of drying up. So we kind of like to see gold do something, you know. We want to see like either push down again or like push up just to show us some confidence in volume, because as it's breaking these highs, these are speed bumps as it's heading towards the next resistance point up here. Because you see, we're bouncing off support and heading towards next targets here by resistance point. All right, so that's where Goldie is currently sitting at. And yeah, what's more to say? It's a Thursday. Price is slow. Negative 0.01% on the daily. The daily is a doji candle right here, as you can see. This should show you that there's no confidence in direction. You know, that's the candlestick volume on the daily. It's only about 17 pips, 18 pips. So yeah, that's it. As for myself, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that new hourly open and then see if that new hourly can at least have a move. This hourly had a move It had one move. I think so far that was a 5-minute. Remember we spoke about this? The 5-minute shotgun play. Boom, boom. It looks like it still respected the lows here as Trump was speaking anyway. Pushed up about like 20 pips. It filled up the range towards resistance. And I think that would have been the only play. Oh, there was one accumulation break here with a fake out confluence as well that played out. So this hourly just had 2 plays, TFX concepts. And now we're waiting for the next hourly candle because each one is going to give us 1 or 2 setups, you know, at least. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this little session here. And I will see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday. Adios, everybody.
No time for this slip, homie, now we bout to dip.